Hello, once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the Grumpy Guide. I am, of course, James.
And I will always be Adie.
You certainly will. Today, after having listened to The Predator in the last episode, oh Christ, so depressing. But this time around we're watching Ghostbusters, the remake, the all-female remake. And we were talking offline just now about it. Adie had some things to say about the quality of the film and also some of the possible preconceptions that you had about it.
Absolutely. I mean, everyone, people jumped on the bandwagon with this because it was going to be an all-female cast, and it started getting shut down straight away. But
yeah,
that for me wasn't the issue. It had nothing to do with the cast. The cast can only work with what they're given. We've said this many times on the Grumpy Guide, that an actor is only as good as the script is given.
Oh yeah.
They can try really hard to try and deliver something from a bad script, but there's only so much they can do, and that's where this film for me falls down.
Yeah.
Whereas you think of like the original Ghostbusters '84, it was done in they took the source material seriously.
Yes.
And grown up. And the comedy in that movie was very sarcastic.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was very tongue-in-cheek comedy. It wasn't overtly sort of slapstick
and which is why the reason it works, in my opinion, which I hope they'll do in 2020 when Ghostbusters returns properly. But this film felt like a dumbed-down version for teenagers.
Yeah, sort of a cartoon romp.
Yeah, like the Will Ferrell lot.
Yeah, God, yeah.
And I despise Will Ferrell for his comedies. I actually think he's a good actor. Some of the films he's great, but that kind of comedy annoys me.
Real base comedy.
Yeah. It's a shit in that respect. And that's what Ghostbusters 2016 was. It was a very dumbed down, let's laugh at the material, and I'm surprised Dan Aykroyd actually allowed it to happen, considering isn't he like a part owner of the...
I think so, of the franchise.
Of the franchise. So
maybe it's just to keep the franchise alive there in people's minds. It's like even a bad film is good enough to make people remember the fact that Ghostbusters is still valid.
With him actually being, what is he, like a third or fourth generation paranormal investigator as well. He obviously knew his shit. And if you go back and watch Ghostbusters, the stuff, even when Janine's reading out to Winston Zedmore, everything that she says there is exactly the stuff that paranormal investigators actually know.
Yes.
Whereas this one doesn't. It kind of, I don't know, it's just
it's a PG version of it, sort of.
It's just utter shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't believe we're doing this.
It's just nonsensical. So we hit the play button and just sort of tear it a new arsehole.
Yeah, I'm not going to go completely full rage package on it because I don't want people messaging us going, oh look, you're just attacking it because it's this and this, and I'm not. Don't get me, I am not one of those people. I have no problem with an all-female cast.
No, me neither.
In fact, I had high hopes for it when I heard they were doing it.
Yeah.
And then until I saw the trailer and saw the direction they were going, and I was like, oh fuck me, you ruined it. What are you doing? And that's basically going to be my tone for the whole movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Then it'll be my tone watching this. So I'm going to be like, "Fuck me! I've got a headache. Let me go."
The stench of disappointment.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing we just discussed with the Predator. In the last episode,
God,
it was just the stench of disappointment of what they
throughout.
Yeah, with like a beloved character that you loved. Same again with Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2. That movie gets slated, but it's not. It's really, really good.
It is. It's entertaining. It's not brilliant. It's not as good as the first one, but it's still entertaining. This is just, this is crap. But at least this is mildly more entertaining to watch than the Predator.
Visually, I think. Visually, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, all the ghosts look very rubbery, like something out of Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
And
even to a certain extent, they did a little bit in the original Ghostbusters film, but not all of them. Slimer looks like a blob, but if you look at the library ghost, she's brilliant.
Absolutely.
Until she changes into that weird cartoon-esque sort of ghostly lady.
Agree, but that kind of lets you know that it's okay to laugh.
Yeah,
this film.
I love the ghost before she changes.
Yeah, really well done actually. Yeah. The effects and that is amazing.
I love that, and obviously the sound, the music with the
kicking in.
What's that? Is it called a theremin? I think it's called a theremin. Yeah, that sound. Yeah, that's that musical instrument. I love
Elmer
that.
Bernstein's theme.
Oh, okay.
You know, funny enough, everyone believes that the Ghostbusters theme is dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
That isn't. That's Ray Parker Jr.'s theme that they
Right.
used for the film. Elmer Bernstein's theme is actually the piano music. Dun 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 dun.
Right, yes.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Now that is actually the Ghostbusters theme.
Right.
There you go, a bit of trivia for you all there.
Classic.
Right,
let's prepare for ghost-based annoyance as opposed to alien-based annoyance that we had on the last one.
Oh god, if I was a stoner, I'd switch this to marijuana. I might enjoy the movie better.
You switch it onto full heroin mode. Let's see what we shall see with this. I do remember watching this, but it's a long time again since it must be 4 or 5 months since I watched this.
I think I watched it longer than that ago.
Right.
Easily a year, I would say. Because
I seem to remember that it's all a fake setup thing at the beginning, isn't it?
It is,
which is actually quite good in the sense that it's drawing a parallel between fake phenomena and the commercialism,
that's
side
behind it.
I
think they are kind of, and I hope when they do the 2020 one, they'll make a nod towards that.
I really hope so.
You know,
with the Ghost Adventures
stuff.
And,
exactly.
Taps
so
and all
that would be
stuff.
very interesting to see.
Yeah,
that's coming back. Taps.
Oh, is it? Oh, God, right.
That's coming back.
Remind me not to watch that.
That's right. The Ghost Course was what they set up because this was originally meant to build a universe. A Ghostbusters universe, I believe was what they were planning to do.
Right.
There was going to be another team in different parts of the country and all this stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then obviously this failed dramatically, and they went, no, we're done.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. They could just pretend that it's a concept.
So much so to the point that the 2021 is going back to what they're calling the original universe.
Right.
And this is a different universe
of
Ghostbusters.
Parallel universe.
Exactly, which there's no... That's why there's no comments on... There was this original...
Okay. Yeah, they won't be referencing it in the next outing.
It didn't exist because it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that when they do come back with the new version, that they're not going to hand it off to some 20-something... actors.
Oh God!
Because it'll just ruin it for me on every level.
Well, it massively would. It needs to be given a safe pair of hands if they're going to make a.
Well, the director's fantastic. It's the son of the original director, Adie Reitman, who actually appears in the second movie. As the kid says, "Do you know my dad says you guys are full of crap?"
Right.
That's actually the director.
Oh, really? Wow, that's brilliant.
So it's in good hands. It's actually his dad asked him to come and do it.
Right.
No doubt Ivan Reitman's going, fuck me, after 2016 we've got to correct this.
Yeah, hopefully so.
You know, so I'm hoping at least, I hope they don't do it, but I want Bill Murray back.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I don't have...
I thought that they'd just have all the original cast apart from poor Harold... No, not Harold Ramis.
It is Harold Ramis, yeah. Harold Ramis who died, bless him. R.I.P. to that man, because he was a fucking genius.
Yeah, so hopefully that it'll be everybody, obviously bar him, unless they can do something CGI and have Egon in the
as a ghost or something. Maybe they'll probably get the guy from the cartoon to voice him or something.
Yeah. I used to love that cartoon.
Yeah, the real Ghostbusters.
So I used to love it.
Great soundtrack.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Felt really good.
Yeah, it was part of the proper. It was part of the universe, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was an extension of.
Well, I find there's a nice parallel there because the guy who voiced Peter Venkman also voiced Garfield in the animated. And then when the movie version of Garfield came around, Bill Murray voiced Garfield.
Oh wow!
So a nice little connection there.
Nice little twist there.
There you go. We're actually giving actual facts again instead of hating the last movie we watched.
And this is interesting because we talked about the whole fake paranormal side of things, but this is both, isn't it? This is supposedly like
an actual haunted location.
Yes, a haunted location where they've enhanced stuff
to get it to happen on cue.
On cue,
for every what we would call a ghost walk.
Yeah.
In this country, I don't know if they do that in America.
Oh, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they're very popular in places like New York and Chicago and
Salem,
like that.
I would imagine.
Oh yeah, Salem as well. Yeah. You see, this is a nice little nod as well to the original the Haunting film. Do you remember The Haunting? Yeah. And obviously they remade it in the 1990s with Catherine Zeta-Jones and Liam Neeson. But the rattling door and the starting of the movement of the handle is a like for like shot from The Haunting as well.
I agree. You see, the film starts off with promise.
Yes.
This movie. Until it gets into the basement and you see all that fucking green shot, and then you kind of go, ugh. Or at least that's what I did.
Yeah, it was disappointing.
I tried to watch this movie with an open mind, if you forgive the pun.
Yeah.
But it didn't really work for me in that.
This was poor.
Yeah, this is where I kind of lost interest.
The floor's already cracked, and it's just basically loads of lights underneath it that they've
Which
just
I'm assuming is
on.
meant to be ectoplasm.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then obviously she starts to rise out of the ground, I think, doesn't she?
Yes, that's right.
But the whole green luminous thing is very cartoony.
Like I said, it reminds me very much of the Scooby-Doo movie.
Yes. And obviously the music kicks in and he screams in the same way that woman screamed at the beginning of the original Ghostbusters film with the ghost in the library. But at least the ghost in the library had... I didn't like it when it turned into the CGI sort of cartoony ghost where it turns into that white thing
with the skull face.
Yeah, but I loved the library ghost with the woman in the pink, that sort of purple dress that she had.
It's a lovely violety colour.
Fantastic, yeah, and
like really, a lavender purple.
Yeah, and the way that she glides and her transparency, they got it just right. You know,
I also like the fact that she's literally acting like a librarian.
Yes.
Yeah, putting books away.
Yeah, and telling them to be quiet.
Yeah.
And she's obviously a sentient being as well. She's obviously an intelligent entity. Yeah.
That's obviously Dan Aykroyd's background.
Yeah, it must be.
Like I said, it was third, fourth generation paranormal investigator, his father, and all that sort of stuff.
I know that he was particularly enamoured with the works of Hans Holzer, wasn't he?
He was, which was very influencing in the movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, she meant to be like the Peter Venkman of this movie.
Yeah, but it doesn't quite. She doesn't pull it off because, you know, Bill Murray's character. You know, as much as people might not, you know, think that Bill Murray's a great actor because he tends to play the same roles. That's only because people cast him in those roles and he's happy to take them. And he's actually a fantastic actor.
He's amazing. Lost in translation.
He's an awesome actor. I think that was based on Sean Connery's exploits, wasn't it, in Japan?
Was it really?
Yeah, with the whiskey adverts that Sean Connery used to do.
I did not know that.
I think so, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think there's an influence there. But
Scarlett Johansson's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But this the whole Venkman sort of character is lost in this film because it's an overt comedy. There's no seriousness to it. Even when it tries to be serious,
it fails.
It feigns it. It feigns seriousness, and that in itself becomes a parody. And that isn't funny, you know. Bill Murray's character would have done something like that, but done it in quite a charming, brash sort of way.
He would have owned it. He wouldn't have looked embarrassed. He would have owned it.
See, this is very. Almost, this is kind of like neurotic woman syndrome, isn't it? As opposed to, you know, she's a bit loopy as opposed to being, really intelligent and brash like Bill Murray's character would have been.
And the thing about Bill Murray's character is you're meant to believe that he's just there. He just likes the title.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, he doesn't.
And also, he gets access to those hot students to do all those Xenocard.
It's so fucking creepy at the same time.
Yeah.
But it works for his character.
By the way, that blonde that does the Xenocard experiment at the beginning, I seem to think that she used to be in a TV program with Scott Baio called Charles in Charge.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. In the 80s.
I recognised her, but I don't know what she's from.
Yeah, she's a very pretty girl. Actually, I can't remember what her name was. Could you grab me a 7-Up from the cooler?
Certainly
please,
can.
mate? From the cooler. I'm having a soda from the cooler. Now that we're watching an American film, rather than having a bit of fizzy pop from the fridge.
Yes, I think I kind of prefer the soda version.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a pop.
A pop. I'm going to have a fizzy pop from the fridge. And this is a protracted conversation as well, isn't it, between her and this professor?
Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
No worries.
It's just too drawn out, you know. The pace of these films tends to go a lot slower, doesn't it?
They do. I mean, even the sequels, even the originals, it was a very slow burning movie.
Yeah.
But because they did that, it gives you a chance to get to know the characters. You know, whereas this kind of once they get to the house, you know, her friend investigates it and all that. Then it goes very fast into being the Ghostbusters, so to speak.
Yeah, it escalates very quickly, doesn't it?
Yes, completely.
And Charles Dance is always Charles Dancing, no matter what.
He's one great. Of the, you know, if there was such a thing that I could have a dinner with certain actors,
right?
There's a list I would have.
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart.
Oh, I bet it would be awesome.
Sir Ian McKellen.
Oh yeah, God. Well, those two are really good friends, aren't they?
Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
And Charles Dance.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now that would be my I would just sit back and just let them go.
That would be phenomenal.
You know, just watch them discuss, hear anything they want.
Yeah. Just
go. Now that, for me, would be the most amazing.
Add Ken Branagh to the mix.
Oh God.
And what was his name? Claudius. Derek Jacobi.
Oh, and he's friends with Ian McKellen as well. Now, could you imagine that little dinner party? Yeah. Just set the cameras rolling and just watch them talk. It'd be the most amazing thing.
Just throw in a subject like, how did it all start for you?
Yes, amazing.
And then just go round. We start with one of them would just start, and then it would naturally just move around, and it would just.
I would be the happiest person on the planet because those people could send you to sleep in happiness.
Yes,
if
and their experiences of life are very different as
absolutely.
well. Where they started, in terms of their acting roles, some of them had proper jobs and professions. Some of them always wanted to be an actor.
And it's the tones of their voices.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I really love Sir Ian McKellen. I think he's absolutely fantastic.
Oh, I agree completely. Absolutely.
He's one guy that I could definitely just sit and chat with for hours.
And I think he's one of those people who'd probably happily to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think he would. And they've got great sense of humour, as proven by them showing up in extras with Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
Playing the complete opposites of who they are. You know,
I love Sir Ian McKellen in that, and Patrick Stewart as well.
Patrick Stewart as well.
I've seen everything.
which to me was that was the hook for that program, because that was the first episode I saw, right. And then I had to buy the box set. So
it's too late because I've seen everything.
You know, even watching Ross Kemp shit himself, making out he's this big tough guy. You know what SAS stands for, right? Super Army Soldiers. And Ricky Gervais's reaction of going, "Are you fucking serious?" in his face. Yeah.
It's just quality.
I love that show.
And we've already deviated.
Yes, sorry. So
but the thing is that, you know, we talk about this countless times on the Grumpy Guide, ladies and gentlemen, is that we deviate so much, and you can tell when we hate a film because we instantly go off road.
And we just start talking about things that make us laugh.
Yeah,
because it's the only way to get us through.
Exactly. And we go off road, and then eventually, after we've taken our detour across a few fields, we kind of come back onto the footpath and then back onto the main road for a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when we get pissed off and bored again, we fuck off somewhere else.
Exactly. So now we've been introduced to the second main character.
Oh, can I ask you, when you've got your while you've got your phone up?
Sure.
Budget for this film. I think we should always do that, because I think it's great to be able to confirm just how much money was wasted on these pieces of shit.
I will do that. At the minute, Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig's on there, so they're the two main stars of the movie, in my opinion. Whereas when Kate McKinnon, very beautiful young lady, Kate McKinnon, we'll see her later.
I don't know her. I mean, obviously I recognise her on this, but I don't. I wouldn't be able to say that's her or whatever.
Excuse me, everyone. But there you go. There's some realism for you. Ghostbusters. 16 budget, and it was. They spent $144 million.
Oh, what a travesty! Complete waste of money.
104. Oh my god!
Complete waste of money, isn't it?
Do you know how much they spent on the original? Which is probably comparative now.
I'm going to say 46.
30 million.
30? Fucking hell.
And I bet most of that was given to Bill Murray.
You think so? Was he that big a name then?
Yeah, he'd just come out of Stripes and things like that.
Oh, Stripes. I love Stripes.
He was really beginning to make a name for himself, so he was getting really quite large at that point. Obviously, Ghostbusters moved it forward even more.
Yeah. Well, of course, yeah. I mean, his career would have just... But then again, having said that, He did Ghostbusters 2.
What was that, 89, I think it was?
Something like that.
Because it was 5 years later, wasn't it?
Stripes was before, which is a brilliant film. He's done Lost in Translation, which was the 90s, I think, or maybe even early 2000s.
It might be in the 2000s, because I know he did Scrooged as well.
Scrooged. What else has he done?
Not a lot, but if I remember correctly, he took a break where he got out of the limelight.
He did Kingpin, didn't he?
He did.
In the late 90s?
Yeah. I mean, Scrooged was actually his first film in quite some time.
That was late 80s, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he actually
88, 89?
Apparently he kept having run-ins with Richard Donner with that movie.
Really?
Apparently so. Because he'd had a break and he came back and...
Was he a bit grumpy?
I think so, yeah. Because he's kind of got a bit of a reputation for being a bit grumpy. Here's Kate McKinnon.
Where?
Her on the right. She does Saturday Night Live.
Oh, her, the blonde woman.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
A lot of Saturday Night Live type stuff now.
Oh, really?
But
I don't like blondes. No, she's not doing anything for me.
I think she's quite pretty. If you see her in some things she wears, you would agree.
No, she's not doing it for me.
I think she's pretty. Oh, fuck off. You fucking tapping hands. So she's meant to be like the Spengler of this.
Yeah,
movie.
the quirky boffin.
Yeah. So, and she's meant to be the Dan Aykroyd stance character.
Yeah. Ray Stantz. And she's Venkman and she's Spengler.
Yeah.
But the thing is that Spengler, Egon, bless him, he wasn't funny quirky. He was funny because he was so serious.
Exactly.
But he wasn't a like, woohoo, let's all go crazy. He wasn't like that.
And he was a very reserved person.
Exactly. I loved Egon. Egon's my favourite character in the film.
And it works for him because he's reserved.
Yeah.
Very much like a scientist who would be interested in this type of thing.
And he's developed stuff, you know.
Yeah, exactly. He's a definite researcher.
Yeah.
Where, you know, who probably locks himself in his office somewhere and writes things down and researches and says, well, if we did this, I mean, you see it actually when he's like, with these new calculations, we actually have a good chance of catching a ghost and holding it indefinitely.
Well, he was the one that he developed the containment system, isn't it?
Him and Ray, actually.
Yeah.
Whereas I think kind of Venkman just saw the commercialism and how much money he could make from it. That's where he came in.
Venkman's a kind of parapsychologist character, isn't he?
Because he didn't believe in any of it.
No.
He's definitely the parapsychologist.
Yeah.
He actually calls him a parapsychologist. So yeah.
Does he call him that?
I'm sure he says he's a parapsychologist. So he is very much the non-believer.
Yes.
Until that shit kicks off in the library, and then he...
Is it cats and dogs living together? That sort of thing, isn't it? Yeah, but I love that. And the way that he keeps winding people up and they tell him to stop, but he's always has a go with that guy...
Peck.
Peck, that's it, yeah.
Is this true? Yes, it's true.
This man has no
This
penis.
man has no dick.
That's it, yeah, that's it.
Which is what I'm talking about with the sarcasm.
But isn't he that guy? I'm sure that guy plays
Die Hard.
Yeah, he's that dickhead reporter, isn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. There you go, Locke.
And that's their version of the PKE meeting.
Yeah.
Which is, I like the fact that it's kind of taking the piss, that it's just a load of flashing lights,
spinning things,
which is what we talk about a lot.
Yeah.
On the other podcast.
Gadget. That's a bit like the old, you know, the design of the REM pod.
Yeah.
Where what do they call that? There's a pod that's made like that, and it's got lots of lights on it on the top, and it is like a REM pod. But I'm just trying to remember the name of the company that made it. They do a lot of design that's just like that with lots of flashing lights on them,
which mean nothing.
Yeah. Oh, she's got Pringles as well.
Smart girl.
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
Why would you do that? You don't know what that is. Why would you stick your fingers in it? Seriously.
Well,
the goo on the floor.
Yeah. I was going to say, you know, most this is a disgraceful thing to say, but most ladies will have been used to having sticky substances on their fingers at some point in their lives.
And so would most men.
Correct. Correct.
We've all been 14.
Yeah.
And the one thing I don't like as well
Her
is
glasses.
No, it's the fact they don't approach this like a scientist.
No.
If you watch the original Ghostbusters, it's very much they approach it scientifically.
They're not. They're just pointing a camera and using lots of spinning shit.
Exactly, and I think that was purpose of referencing the TV climate of ghost programs these days.
I think you're right. This is very much the, as you put it at the beginning, this is very much the Scooby-Doo version of Ghostbusters.
Definitely. Product placement.
Yeah. But do you remember the Scooby-Doo movie? Very similar in style.
I like the Scooby-Doo movie.
Yeah, here we go.
And my favourite line in that movie actually comes from Scrappy-Doo. Everyone used to hate Scrappy because he was an annoying little fuck.
Puppy power. But the thing is, even that looks like the... what's it called? Fear something? You can buy them on DVD. Is it called something like Fear FX or something? You can have them for Halloween displays and you project them onto your windows.
Yeah. I don't know what they're actually called, but I know what you mean.
The company, I think it's called something like Fear FX or something. I can't remember what they're called. But this character, the ghost, she looks very much like those. You know, like the Haunted Bride. And
they're very cool.
Yeah, they are. They're brilliant, but she looks just like that, and they don't cost half as much, you know. Do you know what I mean? You can buy them for like $40, whereas this cost them, what, $114 or something?
144
million, yeah. I mean, that's just ridiculous, though.
She slimed me, so to speak.
Yeah.
I'm taking that as actually their version of the sliming part.
Yeah, it is, yeah. But look at that. That's so badly done.
I think if I was making this, especially with our experiences of what we do, I would like to think of it as that the light allows them not to be seen. You know, so as soon as that popped through the window, I would like it to have gone really transparent and you can hardly see it.
Yeah.
Because I think that would have added, you know... Oh, Charles, you can't save this movie, sir. I'm sorry. I'm sure you're trying. And I apologise you had to be in this movie. I hope the money they gave you was very, very high.
You can't blame him. You know, I'm not going to be nasty about him. I think he's a great actor. But he's an elderly gent now. Parts will be more typecast because when you're of a certain age, you'll start losing things like romance and action.
Yeah, they're very, very slim now for those actors. But the fact is, he's in Game of Thrones, though.
Yeah.
He must be very much in demand, I would imagine. Plays that part really well. I'm only up to season 4.
Tywin Lannister.
I'm only up to season 4, but he's superb in it.
Are you re-watching it, or are you watching it for the first time?
First time.
Right, well, I won't tell you anymore, but it's fantastic.
You know, it took me a while to get into, if I'm honest. I kind of lost interest when the brothers and sisters started fucking, and that kind of made me
right.
Oh, for God's sake, and that's the first episode.
Well, that's like the Romans, so just kind of...
kind of look past it, I guess.
Look past that and accept that that's what some ancient cultures used to do anyway, so... To keep the pure blood.
In fact, they even reference it in Gladiator, don't they? That he wants to do his sister.
Commodus.
Yeah. They kind of cut it out, but it's in the extended version they released.
It's still pretty obvious if you know what's going on, isn't it? Yeah. And the laboratory is just kind of...
It's reminiscent of a kind of like your old science lab at schools.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like there's any kind of specific stuff going on. It's just kind of like lots of wires and glowing things and an oscillator in the corner, and that's it.
Yeah. We'll find something metallic and pull it in the background and put some flashing lights on it, and we can call it science equipment.
Yeah.
At least she's trying to use the same sort of lingo.
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't think she's actually bad in this movie. Melissa
Who, her?
McCarthy. Because she's generally trying.
Who, the dark-haired girl? Or the blonde?
No, Melissa McCarthy.
Right.
She's
I don't know any of them.
She's fully invested.
Yeah,
the movie.
like you say, she's the Dan Aykroyd character, isn't she?
Yeah, and she should be the most enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Ray was the enthusiastic one.
Ray was like a kid in a school in a toy shop, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was so enthusiastic about everything that was going on.
Ghost jumpers.
The nod to Ghost Hunters, I'm guessing.
These guys are the reasons you got fired. It's because of stuff like this that makes it impossible for us to do our field work.
You see, if this wasn't such a ludicrously shit film, what she just said just hits the nail on the head, because she's saying it's because of these idiots that we're getting a bad deal,
which is what
and now because of these idiots in this film that proper paranormal investigators are misunderstood by the majority of the population.
Agreed. And we get I said this to somebody earlier on, that we get kind of laughed at.
Yeah,
you know, it's we're not taken seriously.
No,
because it's pseudoscience at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I tell you what, there's a nod in this movie I do like when they go to the original Ghostbusters movie building from the original movie.
Yes.
And they can't afford it.
Yeah.
I like that nod. I wonder if that's coming back for the next one.
The same building. The building that was built by what's his name? Oh.
Not Gozer, is it?
No.
It's fucking hell.
There's a specific name of the person that constructed the building, isn't it?
There is, yeah. They found it out in Tobin's Spirit Guide. I remember that.
Yeah. What is the name of that guy? No, it's gone. I can't remember.
Yeah, me either.
But you're right. It's a bit like a Gozer. He's got a strange name, hasn't he?
Yeah. He was a Gozer worshipper.
Yeah. And he basically made the building as a kind of an antenna, didn't he? As a way to conduit. Yeah. I might have to look it up.
Because it'll bother you. Yeah, I'm like that.
it just bugged the shit out of me. He's got like a real sort of Cthulhu style name, hasn't he?
I was going to say it's a very memorable name, but I've forgotten it.
Let's have a look.
And I really hate the fact that they use this actress to turn her into the complete comedy. I would have preferred it if she was the serious one.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I would have preferred it if she was the super serious one. I think it would have had more of an impact for me.
What's his name? Right, so I want to put designer of
Dana Barrett's building.
Ghostbusters. I'll put so I'll put designer of building where Dana lived in Ghostbusters. Ivo Shandor. They later learned it was designed and constructed by insane architect and surgeon Ivo Shandor, who founded and led a secret society in 1920, the Cult of Gozer.
That's it.
Ivo Shandor. That would have done my head in.
Oh, I would never remember that unless you brought that up.
It was just that name. But it was on the tip of... it's on the tip of your tongue.
Yeah, absolutely. I hate it because the brain puts up like a block.
Yeah.
And you just can't, for the life of you, shake it free. But the interesting thing about the human brain is you would have kept thinking on that.
Yeah.
And at some
eventually,
point...
yeah. Probably next week you would have just gone pop.
It pops into your head.
Yeah,
it's
I've
amazing
had that before.
how the
It's
brain
crazy.
works.
It's like a runtime in a computer where you can set up a subroutine and it just goes off and it's just placed to the back.
Agreed.
And then eventually, when the processors run,
yes,
it then just goes. Boop, there's a result.
Precisely. It's like the brain is searching through the memory bank.
Yeah.
And it keeps doing it while you're not paying attention.
And I think that's why sometimes we get like headaches and little nervous things in our heads, and we can't quite work out.
Well,
I think there's other subroutines that are working.
That's possible. I've had a headache all day. I haven't been able to shift it. So that may be exactly what's going on. I'm a little bit stressed because I'm going to be on my own for the next couple of weeks.
Has she arrived yet? Do you know?
She won't arrive yet. She won't.
Maybe that's why then.
That's certainly possible because she's not going to land till about 6 p.m.
So your brain could have that
worry.
that subroutine about, you know, making sure that her flight's okay. Has she landed? When she says I've landed, everything's all right.
It'll go away.
Probably just go pop, and then it'll
I
be
think
gone.
so, because I am worried about flights.
Yeah, well, of course you would do. Yeah, anybody would. Even if it was just a 2-hour drive, you'd still be concerned about somebody's
Absolutely.
safety.
It's the weirdest thing. She was only gone a couple of hours, and I was already missing her.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's weird. I find that you actually miss somebody. I'm speaking from personal opinion. When and experience, the moment that somebody leaves, you tend to get this massive rush of emotion, and you really, really miss them, and you hope you want them straight away.
Agreed.
And then after like a few hours, it starts to
Dissipate.
diminish.
Yeah.
And then at some point, just before they come back on their way back, that's when it hits you again.
Yeah, agreed. And that's exactly what will happen to me. I
Yeah.
think. Because I dropped her off at the bus station, you know, because she was catching a Natural
Yeah.
Express, and I was driving back and looked up into the mirror and realised I was glassed over.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't actually crying.
Yeah.
But I was glassed over. I was like, "Fucking hell, what's the matter with you?"
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad we're doing this tonight just to get me out the apartment. to
Yeah,
be
it's
honest.
good doing that, innit?
I needed to. I told her that. She rang me when she was just about to board, and I said to her, "I'm missing you already, and I need to get out."
Yeah.
I said, "Sitting in the flat's not helping."
That's why you need loads of films and just stuff
Oh,
to
I
indulge yourself
have.
in, like
I've got
books and stuff.
I've got a shelf full at the minute.
Yeah.
So
You're like me, I think. You pick up books and read different ones at different times.
exactly.
And you rotate.
I'm not through even that Hans Holz one.
No.
yet.
No,
I'm
you mean.
halfway through it, and I'm reading some of the.
You see, with that Hans Holzer book, because it's case based, you can pick it up and put it down. There's
Yeah,
that,
agreed.
that
I actually
continuity.
finished reading the case and I put it back down.
Yeah.
So I'm in the middle of the skull experiment as well, which is kind of cool. I'm really happy about that book, and I love the fact Kieran signed it for me as well.
Yeah, yeah.
It kind of feels a bit personal.
Yeah, exactly.
And the fact it's his version that he thumbed.
Yeah.
I kind of like that too.
Yeah, no, that's good.
I like the fact that it says he obviously understands what kind of investigator I am, so he's obviously been paying attention
Yes.
to my Twitter.
Yeah,
and
the
all
whole
that sort of
skeptic
stuff.
side of it, rather than the out and out believer.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous as well, just then, wasn't it?
Yeah, completely. I mean, I love the fact that she's developing something to do that, because I guess they would.
Yeah.
But they have, other than that fucking spinny thing, what kind of readings has she actually taken?
It's bullshit. It's just.
I also feel sorry for the fact that the original cast cameoed in this.
It's.
I'm surprised Bill Murray did it. Maybe, yeah.
But then again, he might have been obligated to do it because of the way
I
the
doubt
franchise is.
I doubt it. If he was obligated, he would have done Ghostbusters 3 a long time ago.
And what the fuck was Chris Hemsworth thinking doing this?
I know, but isn't he just really funny?
Oh, he is, but what the fuck?
I'm thinking he's thinking, everyone knows me as Thor, I need to do something completely different.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that is a good point actually. I thought he was fucking awesome in the Ayrton Senna, not Ayrton Senna.
The race movie.
James Hunt versus.
I don't think I watched that.
What's it called? Oh fuck! James Hunt versus the German guy, Niki Lauda.
Right, I don't think I've seen that film.
That is fucking awesome. What is it called? James?
I know he did a
It's not Speed. It's something like Speed.
Racer
Or is it Rush?
something like that. I know he did a movie where he plays like a hacker type thing. It's like a Michael Mann, I think it was. That's a really good film. To be fair, I think Hemsworth is the next massive star. You know what I mean?
Who? Sorry.
Hemsworth. I think he'll be the next massive star.
Oh, he's great.
He oozes.
And he picks.
Hollywood.
I think he picks the right films as well. He's not in everything.
Agreed. I think he did this one to make people shake him out of the fact that I'm not just Thor.
Yes.
And I think that's very clever.
It's shrewd because it says don't typecast me.
Agreed, and I think that's also. And let's face it, the best Thor movie so far was Ragnarok, because he was allowed to flex his muscles.
Oh,
comedy.
okay. So a
So-
bit more humour involved
Yeah,
as well.
and it works so well for him.
James Hunt, Niki Lauda. The Ron Howard film Rush was based on that rivalry.
I don't think I've seen that.
It's fantastic. You've got to see Rush, mate.
Oh, okay. If it pops up somewhere, I'll give it a go.
It's awesome. What did you say the budget was of this?
144 million.
144 million.
For this. And that's obviously in the effects budget and the cast, because Melissa McCarthy at this point is fucking huge when this movie came out.
Why would she do this? Is it her first big break in a movie?
I don't think so. She's done loads before this.
So why would she do this? Do you think that's just money?
Perhaps the name Ghostbusters?
Or possibly, or what sort of movies has she been in before?
Comedies. Comedies.
So it's not like she's done serious stuff and then said,
she's really a comedy actress.
Right.
And she's generally funny in what she does, but I just don't like this movie.
Right, yeah, it's a bit shit.
You know, and I'm not a big fan of comedies anyway, which is where me and my girlfriend way differ. She likes a comedy film. And
I'm not a great fan of comedies. I love that logo. Oh, yeah. I can make them bigger.
Deadpan delivery.
Yeah, so funny. "7-Eleven." That's already been done.
I think it's because he plays it completely dumb.
He does. His character's really great in this.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah, he's meant to be Janine Malnitz, but completely thick.
Yes. Because I really like the secretary in the original
Janine.
film. She's great, isn't
And
she?
Potts, Annie Potts.
Yeah, she's fantastic. We got one. That one is
I
classic.
think that's. I wonder how long she's actually been sitting there waiting for that phone call. You kind of get the impression
for this new film. Do you think she'd do it?
I think so.
I hope they ask her to do it.
She should do it.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I'll be surprised if Mick Moranis doesn't come back.
Oh, he's great.
Lewis Tully should come back. I just have
Did
to.
he? No, he survived in the first film, right?
And
Yeah.
he's in the second one.
Yeah.
He straps on a proton pack for the second one, where he believes he's a Ghostbuster.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I just hope if they bring him back, they don't change his character into something else.
No, because was he an accountant or something?
That's
in the
right.
original?
It was
yeah. With all the house parties and stuff
and
like that.
And then he became a lawyer by night school.
Yeah. Oh, he's great. He played Dark Helmet in Spaceballs, didn't he? Oh, I think he's
Rick
brilliant.
Moranis at one point owned the 80s.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was great. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. He was in that as well.
That's a
wasn't
great
he?
film as well. I love that film, the first one.
Yeah. And obviously she's the Winston Zeddemore character.
And the Winston Zeddemore, but I would have flipped it. I would have made her super intelligent.
Yeah.
And not just the token joke version.
And it's also, I find it a bit, I don't know, in this day and age, I find it a little bit distasteful to make the black character stupid.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm trying to get at.
It's kind of like, because Winston wasn't.
He wasn't.
Winston was literally like, "Hey, I'm just doing this for the paycheck. What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah, I actually says it when he goes, "Do you believe in this, 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 and this?" And he goes, "Look, if there's a steady paycheck, and I'll believe in anything
and
you
he
say."
even goes, doesn't he? What does he say? Something about. Does he say it to Ray? When somebody asks you if you're a god, you say yes!
I think my favourite line is when he's talking to the mayor. He goes, "Mr. Mayor, Winston Zeddemore, I've only been working for these guys for a few months, but my God, I have seen shit that will turn you white."
That's it, yeah. That's it. That's brilliant. And he was a great character. So to have a black character that is anything less in terms
insulting.
of sort of appeal to Winston,
It's insulting.
is really insulting. If anything, they should have made her character with the sort of cunning wit and dryness of Venkman from the original film.
Like I said, I think she should be the smartest one in the room.
Yes, exactly.
And I think that would be superb.
Yeah.
I really do. And what I want, they didn't even grow Winston in the sequel though.
No.
If you think about it, which is a real shame.
It is, because he's a great actor
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. I would like Ernie Hudson.
Yeah.
I would like to have seen it that he's been at it for 5 years. Admittingly, he only investigated for like the first year when he was the Ghostbuster. But by the time he come in the second one, I wanted to have the intelligence like them because he's gotten so into it,
or more, to be able to sort of question
Yes,
stuff.
exactly.
That's a nod to the original film with the graffiti and stuff like that. It's a quite nice little nod, but it's
just the delivery of what they're trying to do.
And some of the scenes, some of the
Very well shot.
composition of the shot is good. That shot is prime example. Looking at that trackway and the way that it pans up.
Paul Feig, or whatever his name is.
Lovely shot, and synonymous with the original style of filming. To set the scene as a spooky environment.
It's the same thing again.
Decimate it with this shite.
It's the same thing again. Sorry, I've got cramp.
Sorry, mate.
It's the same thing again when we had when I heard that Paul Feig was going to do this movie.
Yeah.
I thought, fucking hell, here we go. We're going to be all right then. The same disappointment I had when Shane Black signed on to the Predator. I was like, yes, go. And then you watch the film and you're like, oh,
then it's abject disappointment about the fact you've been betrayed.
Yeah, agreed. And I'm sure they thought this was great at the time when they were writing it, but it's just misses the mark in so many ways. They've completely forgotten what made those movies great in the first place. It's the Highlander analogy we keep talking about. They forget everything that made that film good in the first place.
They just basically trash everything that made it good and try and reinvent it.
Yeah, agreed.
But see, the thing is that you hit the nail on the head when you talked about the gadgets that they're using. They've got all the equipment that looks ridiculous, and it actually serves no function in this film. That was spinning before he even appeared,
and then it spun faster when he appeared.
Yeah. And again, this is like a electric chair guy, isn't it?
Like a nod to the second movie, I think.
Where you had those two brothers in the courthouse.
The Scolari brothers.
Yeah.
With that really hilarious judge.
And again, they're sort of cartoony aren't they? They're almost like puppets.
I wonder if they changed it a little bit to kind of fit in with the real Ghostbusters.
I think probably so.
Because the real Ghostbusters filled the void.
Yeah.
Those, I can't remember how many seasons, they must have done 2 or 3 at least.
Yeah.
And then that filled the void up until the second movie coming out, so they've probably tried and changed it a little bit so it matches.
I think you're right, to try and keep that same theme, otherwise people would have been going, well, these don't look like the ghosts in the cartoon film that I've been, the cartoons I've been watching.
Back when cartoons were actually well thought out.
Oh god, yeah, definitely some fantastic ones. Special effects here, very good.
I'm not surprised for a $144 million movie.
But actually, when you think about it, special effects wise, not an awful lot of difference between that and the 84 version.
No, not at all. And I wonder if that's been done on purpose.
Yeah.
I said it before, if you watch the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2...
Yeah, oh yeah.
Even though the effect shots they put in that movie were done 30 years later, they've made it look like the 78 version on purpose to make it match.
Of course, yeah. Otherwise it really jars, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course it does, and it takes you out of what they were trying to do. Yeah. That Donner cut is amazing.
I've seen it.
Absolutely amazing. Why on earth... What the Soul Kinds were doing firing Richard Donner, they're fucking idiots.
It's just panic that tends to set in going over budget and time.
And blaming Donner because his vision was not what they wanted. Yeah. They wanted somebody to be a yes man and say, yeah, we'll do this.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to ruin the integrity of what he was trying to make.
Yeah.
And it shows completely.
Oh, he went through hell, didn't he, with them?
Yeah, funny enough though, he shot 70% of the movie, and then they brought in another director who reshot it, which would have cost them more.
Yeah.
Than just leaving Donner to finish his movie. It makes no sense.
But Ridley Scott had the same problem with Blade Runner, if you remember. They just the muscle men come in and they just go, look, we're paying this for this. You're not delivering to times, and they're like, yeah, this is a work of art. This takes time. No, it's got to be ready on time. We'll get rid of you and put somebody else in. It's like, well, okay, but you're going to fuck up.
I think Craig Ferguson said it right. I like Craig Ferguson.
Yeah.
He basically, because he's done a few movies, and the third movie he did, he directed, even though he wrote it. And it says, then the one thing he realised very quickly he thought that the director had all the power.
Yeah.
And he says, it's not the director has the power; it's the people who are paying for it that have the power.
Yeah.
It says, so don't fool yourself into thinking it's the director, because it's not.
No.
And I think we've hit it on the head many times by saying the director fucked it up. Well, he didn't. It's most likely because he had studio notes. Yeah. This is what you're doing.
Yeah. And constant. And Ridley Scott had constant studio notes.
And he wouldn't have that now because of how big he is. It's like trying to give studio notes to Spielberg.
Yeah.
He would literally look at them and laugh and go, fuck off now.
Yeah.
I'm Steven Spielberg. And they would go, yes, of course, Stephen, make what you want. Off you go.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, you get the keys of the kingdom when you're super powerful.
Yeah.
As a director.
Yeah. The only studio notes that people like Spielberg and Scott and those sorts of people should be receiving now are, "We love it. Keep going."
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes. I'm sure. I bet the studios don't even get involved.
No.
You know, he's got that much power.
Well, they run their own. They run their own show now, don't they? You know, is it Great Scott that he's got, or something? It's called
Amblin is what.
Well, I mean Ridley Scott.
Yeah, I think
is it
so.
called
No,
Great?
actually,
No, Scott Free. Is it Scott Free?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which he had with his brother.
Yeah.
Tony, bless him.
Tony. Yeah.
R.I.P. Sir.
Yeah.
He
did Top Gun, didn't he?
He was a great visual director. That man.
Did he do Last Boy Scout as well? I know that he definitely did Top Gun.
He might have done. It might have been him. It might be. I know. Shane Bloke wrote it.
I think it might be a.
No, I think you're right.
I think it might be a Tony Scott. Last Boy Scout.
Yeah, it has that gritty feel to it.
That quick cut, flashing sort of.
Agreed.
Intro. It's very sort of high octane stuff.
Beverly Hills Cop 2 as well. I think.
Oh, really?
I think.
Let's have a look.
Oh, pardon me. I keep burping. This Dr Pepper's getting to me.
Dr Pepper's gorgeous.
It's amazing.
Last Boy Scout. In fact, I wonder what year it was. I'm going to guess at 1990. 89?
93, I think.
91.
Ooh, you're much better than me, sir.
28 years ago.
Amazing. Oh, he did Crimson Tide.
Yes, it was. I was right. American action comedy film directed by Tony Scott.
Oh, there you go then. He did do Beverly Hills Cop 2, I was right.
We're awesome. We just know our shit.
Absolutely.
But I love The Last Boy Scout. And it's so 90s as well, with all the fashion and stuff, what they were wearing.
Yeah, that's what dates movies though, isn't it? It's normally the...
It's like Bad Boys as well, that's the same.
They're making a third one.
Oh, that's quality.
Right now. Bad Boys 3.
I love Bad Boys.
It's filming at this very moment.
Bad Boys 3. So that's what's his face, isn't it?
Will Smith.
Will Smith.
Michael Bay then.
Mike Lowry.
Is Michael Bay actually doing that one? I doubt.
Oh, let's have a look then.
I'm sick of people having a go at Michael Bay. He doesn't deserve it.
He did Transformers, didn't he?
Michael Bay, yeah.
Yeah, thought so.
Visually stunning, which all his films are visually stunning. I don't think he's the greatest storyteller, but visually he's an amazing director.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing, is that sometimes people just assume that directors are the storytellers, when the story's written for them in most cases, isn't it?
Exactly. I like this idea that the ghosts that you can see are in the mirrors.
Oh, this is like Solomon Kane.
Yeah.
Remember that with the ghosts? They're like those evil things in the mirrors as well.
Agreed. And because obviously the stories that they've kind of written that in about the idea, especially with scrying and things like that. The mirrors are a portal to another dimension. It's got nothing to do with the silver backing, it just reflects back, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. What was it that you wanted me to look for? Michael Bay with something?
Yeah, Michael Bay, Bad Boys 3. Is he directing that? I don't think he is.
Michael Bay, Bad Boys 3. Can't see if it says that it's a... No, Michael Bay's not involved in the upcoming Bad Boys for Life, but he does think they should get a move on making it.
It's filming now. Directors. They've got 2 directors for the movie.
I think they're going to be great. I think that
It should be fun.
I mean, Will Smith hasn't changed. Martin Lawrence has got a bit chubby, but Will Smith has hardly changed in that.
To be fair though, Martin Lawrence, he hasn't done anything.
No,
not really.
But he's going to be great, isn't he?
He's a bit like
it's Marcus Burnett.
Yeah,
isn't it?
I think he reminds me a little bit of Chris Tucker. You know, he's kind of stuck with the one movie franchise, and you haven't really seen him in much else.
Why have I just seen Bad Boys 4 as well?
No, that can't be.
Or do you think somebody's just
probably
fanboy poster to say that? You know,
I'd say so, because Bad Boys 3 is not even happening yet.
No, exactly.
It's filming, but is it Bad Boys for Life?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But
See, we've gone off road again. It's because we
can't be kept.
There's nothing's happening in this film. You know, in the original Ghostbusters, there was a real solid plot line. It all started with obviously the library, but then they got straight into pretty much the introduction to Dana and all the things that were happening to her. And there was a very common theme about.
What I like about that was, though, it was an actual, as if she reached out to some people that she thought they could help her, and then it literally sticks with her story. With the occasional drop-in of them taking something down when they're getting popular.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's just one story of them helping Dana Barrett.
Yeah.
All the way through. And down to the fact that Bill Murray wanted to part her cheeks and get in there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
yeah.
but other than that, it was literally just one story. You know, where this feels like it's got multiple things going on at once.
And I think that's what makes it bad.
Yeah.
You know, if they, diversification isn't always a great thing to do in a movie.
Too much.
You know, you can have multiple plot lines if you want, but you've got to have the kahunas to be able to deal with that and to maintain that properly in a movie.
Absolutely.
I mean, someone that can do that, Tarantino, Pulp Fiction, right? That's the perfect example of plate spinning in a film. But films like this need to keep a very basic core. Otherwise, it tries to deviate to add weight to the story, but actually it just turns into some kind of noodling, meandering that then kind of makes people confused about what the actual storyline is, and they try and cover too many things.
Agreed. I mean, I think the movie's trying. Don't get me wrong; it's really trying,
and it's full of product placement. You've seen Papa John's pizza there. We've had Papa John's, Pringles.
I'm sure Coca-Cola's in there somewhere.
Sony camera she was holding. You know, they're very obvious things. There's a lot of product placement.
Evidently because they expected it to be so big.
Yeah. Yes, because they could have all these different franchise deals with all these other companies, but it just didn't work out. But this is a waste of time as well.
It's just stupid. There's no reason for the scene.
No.
It's just them trying to be funny.
But the thing is, as well, is that the male Ghostbusters would never have had this kind of scene together.
No, not at all.
They didn't do this.
No, they did the advert, which really made me laugh.
Yeah, exactly. But was that the one? We're ready to believe you.
Yeah.
But that was just them doing a shit advert, not on purpose, because they're just
like a cable advert, which is what I like about it.
Exactly.
It's cheap to make.
Exactly.
Even though I'm guessing by the midpoint of that movie, they must have been making so much money.
Yeah.
Because you hear what he says, this is going to be $4,000 for that, and you're thinking, fucking hell, $4,000 in 1984.
Yeah, but if you think about it, if you look at the containment units and all that sort of stuff, they were probably paying for that.
But that's what I think that's why. Because you see Egon going.
Yeah.
Because he's looking at how much it's going to cost them to keep it running.
Exactly.
And not only that, the cost of the mortgage on that building.
Yeah.
So they were just breaking even.
Exactly. Yeah, I guess so. Here we go, the debunker.
And here he is, his man himself, Bill Murray, the genius actor.
Yeah, who's playing the part of really a kind of a James Randi character, isn't he?
I don't think that's precisely who he's meant to be.
I think he's a James Randi character.
I would say so.
Famous debunker. There isn't really any American famous debunker other than Randy.
Oh yeah. And he did not debunk a shitload.
Oh yeah, and some very
prominent
and some strange people as well.
Yeah. I love watching some of his videos on YouTube when he's taking down psychics.
Did you see? Was his name James Haydrick?
Is he the guy who moved the paper?
Moved the pencil with his hand,
yeah,
and it's just basically airflow.
Yeah, and then he moved paper and all this.
Yeah.
He got on the floor doing all this sort of stuff.
Yeah,
dressed like an Elvis type look.
It was sort of a martial arts Elvis outfit.
Yeah, that's it. Really,
and he actually was a paedophile. He went.
My god! Really?
After all of that, he was then found out to be a paedophile and did time in prison.
Hey, I got fucking beat.
I think his name was James Haydrick.
I remember watching it because James Randi let him do his thing, and then came out and he says, "Now move the paper again." And he went to go and do it, and he did it, and he goes, "Fine." And then he turned the paper around so he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And then the guy's like...
Then he was like, it's something to do with the
bad energy.
He'd been blocked or something.
Yeah,
the energy,
yeah.
It was ridiculous. And I'm sure this guy. I'm sure it's in the public domain that this person did time in prison for
heinous things
for being a paedophile.
Dirty bastard.
So that's why I'm saying that. I'm not saying that definitely happened, but I'm certain that it's in the public record that it's been reported that he did. So I'm not saying that I've made that up. I'm saying that I've read it somewhere that he's been convicted as a paedophile.
Ugh. Makes you sick, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But look at this. This is just ridiculous.
This is what I'm talking about, the dumbed down comedy. Everything's for cheap laughs.
Yeah, it's like, oh look.
And she really kicked off actually recently, the lady on the right, I can't remember her name, but she really kicked off when they announced they're doing 2020 Ghostbusters, which is going to go back to the original.
And she was angry, was she?
Yeah, she kicked off saying it's bullshit and disrespectful how they're treating us like we never happened in that movie.
What?
Honestly, not a joke.
No, I think it's bullshit and disrespectful that they agreed to be involved in a project that shat all over the original.
Agreed.
It's almost like if that's the case, it's almost like she is kind of denying that the original Ghostbusters was a landmark film.
Agreed.
And that this is just a piece of shit.
I think she's just angry because she was obviously promised something different.
She probably thought we've got a great movie franchise here and we should be involved in any sequels.
Absolutely.
They should just be saying, "Long sorry, but this isn't canon."
Yeah, I think
like the Predator stuff. This isn't canon. We're not going to.
Which is why they're doing it. They're just ignoring this movie happen because it's not part of the story they want to tell.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to go back, oh, what a fucking awful version of this.
Yeah, and again, this ties in with what we were talking about with in a previous episode with Highland of the Source. The fact they had a rock version of Princes of the Universe sung by some sort of fake Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, the karaoke version.
It was really shit, wasn't it? Oh, by the way, talking of Freddie Mercury, have you seen Bohemian Rhapsody?
No.
Fantastic.
Is it really good?
Really, really good.
I'm waiting for it to come out on Blu-ray.
It's really good.
That's what I'm waiting for.
It's not. I'd heard or read somewhere that you know people that went to see it were in tears watching it and stuff, but you know, me and Natalie saw it. We didn't cry. There wasn't anything in there that was kind of. I'm not going to spoil it, but there wasn't anything in there that was sort of like so poignant, and you know, they didn't dwell on anything about his illness really. So.
The thing is, a lot of stories have been said about that, but he loved being gay. He loved being this person.
Yeah.
That's who he was. You know, only years later now do you listen to certain songs and you understand what he's actually trying to sing about.
Yeah.
You know, Who Wants to Live Forever. Now, we said that, obviously it's for Highlander, but it's not. He's really talking about the fact, I've got this illness.
Yeah.
You know, and this is what's going to happen to me.
Yeah.
And it becomes so much more powerful because of that.
Yeah.
You know, when he's singing Mama, I've just killed a man, I put a gun against it, he's talking about the fact he's just contracted it.
Yeah.
You know, and I've gone and thrown it all away because I was stupid and I did this.
Yeah.
It's just, amazing. I'm looking forward to watching it. I was really disappointed to find out that Bryan Singer was meant to be up to what he was meant to be up to, and that's why they sacked him from the movie. Right. You know, he's been accused of sexually assaulting either actors or something like that, other male actors.
Oh, really?
And all that sort of stuff. So they booted him off the movie straight away and got Dexter Fletcher to finish it.
Which film?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Dexter Fletcher finished the film.
Finished the directing on it.
That's bizarre.
You wouldn't expect it, but it was him.
That's so funny.
Which probably, you know,
that's so funny. That guy started his career on Press Gang in like the 1990s,
and a bit of a comedic style.
Yeah, and he hosted an episode of Games, a series of Games Master as well. Back in the 80s.
But then again, if you watch him in Lock, Stock and Two Smoking, he's absolutely
brilliant. Oh, he's a great actor.
Absolutely, really, really good, and apparently a good director.
Right.
So.
He's been in the business for years, since he was a child, so he obviously gets, you know, what it's like to be an actor and understand direction and all the rest of it, and then be able to sort of flip into that production side of things as well.
Yeah, agreed. For those that are still listening and thinking we should be talking about Ghostbusters, there's a scene right now which nods towards kind of Doctor Who with the Autons because they're in a mannequin.
Oh yes,
place.
of course, yeah. That was very RoboCop-esque, actually. It turned its head before moving its body.
Very much so. We do have to talk about RoboCop a lot.
Yeah.
Because we love it, that's why. And this is also what pisses me off. You never really see the Ghostbusters run.
No.
You do in the courtroom scene where they get underneath the table. You know, the two ghosts are there, but they're more fascinated more than anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're stoked that they're witnessing something paranormal. Whereas these guys just tend to sort of like run away and then kill whatever it is that, or destroy whatever it is. Again, reference to a demon there, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. One of my favourite lines actually in Ghostbusters 2 is when he goes, "It's the Scolari brothers." He goes, "Friends of yours? I tried of a murder, gave him the chair." And he goes, "You got to do something." He said, "Why don't you just tell me you don't believe in ghosts?"
Yeah. And they're all thinking, "Wow, look at the special effects."
And he's thinking, yeah, now people actually like us.
Yeah. Their outfits are shit as well, aren't they, in comparison to the
Very
original?
much so. It looks like something that was set up with no money, which is why I think it works for this.
Yes.
Oh god, I'm so sick of having those conversations on Twitter at the minute.
Yeah.
Wow. Have you noticed the decline in my tweets of how annoyed I'm getting?
Yeah.
Where I've stopped being all, I think it's this and this, and we should do this, and I've started going, oh, for fuck's sake.
Exactly, yeah. It's just like you ranting about people just like, I wish that they would shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's what I've become.
Yeah. It's just, but that's the way it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And these sorts of films don't help with that.
Not at all.
That was funny, his scream.
But like I said, the original Ghostbusters took the source material seriously.
Yeah.
Whereas this is just poking fun at it.
No, yeah, it is, yeah. This is just ridiculous.
Which I guess that's what it's meant to do, but it's...
But it doesn't do anything for the franchise, does it?
No, not at all.
You know, if you were saying this is... If you argued that this film was setting up the audience for the next phase of Ghostbusters, this wouldn't do it.
No, not at all.
You'd say, well, it failed then in that case.
I think the next Ghostbusters is meant to be just that, the passing of the torch.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to do that, you pass it to people who are about 35 to 40 because they should be scientists.
Yes.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah, exactly.
I want them to say, this is passed on to scientists, and then cast actors that, for me, would work in those roles.
Yeah.
Not... Well, we need to get at least 3 movies out of these actors.
Yeah.
So we want to cast somebody who's 25 and he's popular at the minute.
Yeah.
I don't want that. They need to cast the right people for the right roles.
They need to be unknowns.
Yeah,
really.
Maybe.
Or, you know, or not unknowns, but people that you think, safe pair of hands, that's going to be good.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like your Woody Harrelsons and those sorts of people. But I suspect that if they did give it to somebody else, you end up with your likes of your Jack Black.
That's what I don't want to
that,
happen.
and that would just ruin
That was one name that I thought of when they were going to... I thought, don't give it to him.
Yeah.
Jack Black plays Jack Black. He doesn't
Jack
do anything
Black,
else.
Will Ferrell.
Yeah, don't give it to them.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mind him giving it to someone like Seth Rogen.
Yes.
Who, in my opinion,
work.
he would work well as like a Raymond Stantz type
Yes,
character.
he would, yeah.
You know, because I think he would pull that off.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
And you know he would take it seriously too.
Yeah.
You know, pass it off to those type of actors, but you've got to also pass it off to people who are serious too. But they can do comedy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But do it in a sarcastic comedy.
I mean, yeah, I agree. You need some really, really good actors that can act the shit out of it. Which is why Bill Murray was great, because he can do deadpan so well.
Agree.
But at the same time, be as hilarious as a child. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's got a really the Peter Venkman character is very childlike. You know, even when he's waiting for Dana and he's doing that little dance with his feet across the
And I imagine that was just Bill Murray.
Yeah, but it's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's just the sort of thing that a child would do while they were waiting. You know,
A very natural reaction from him.
exactly. Yeah. But it's yeah, I don't know. Do we know who the cast? What the cast lineup
No,
is?
there is no cast so far.
No details.
They've kept it. Apparently, this has been underway for a year at least.
Wow.
And they've kept it so quiet that nothing was given away until that teaser trailer came up. But apparently, Dan Aykroyd gave it away months ago.
Oh, why would you do that?
In an interview, when he says, "Yeah, we're working on something right now." But of course, you kind of like throw it sideways when it comes to Dan Aykroyd talking about Ghostbusters, because he's been trying to get the third one off the ground for about 15-20 years.
Oh, it's been a long time coming. So definitely.
So at the same time, you can kind of go, "Oh, he's just fucking still tooting Ghostbusters."
Yeah.
Which I would expect him to do. It's his creation with Harold Ramis. You know what I mean?
Ghostbusters 2020.
Yeah, I'm so excited, man.
Jason Reitman. July 2020 premiere date.
Ooh.
And that's been brought. That was released 2 hours ago.
Oh, excellent! Updated.
Yeah, set for July 2020.
Now for me, and I said this in a tweet on Twitter.
I'll picture up.
It was awesome. Did you watch that teaser?
No.
Or watch the teaser, dude?
Was it really good?
It's on for about a minute.
Oh, cool.
And it starts off. See, we are talking Ghostbusters, everyone.
Starring Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, Rick Moranis, and Sigourney Weaver.
None of those have confirmed. The only person I would say was confirmed there would be Dan Aykroyd, and possibly
Reitman's father directed the original,
and he passed off the keys to him.
It grossed $242 million in the USA.
Is that in '84?
Yeah.
Now that is an amazing amount.
And over $295 million worldwide. Highest grossing comedy film of its time.
Amazing. Imagine that being adjusted to now. That's almost, what, 900 million? Easily.
Yeah. Sony gave a first look at the project last week with footage of the Ecto-1 vehicle from the original movie.
Yeah, you can watch it. It's great. They use the original soundtrack, and I'm not talking the. They literally do the. No, they go.
Oh, brilliant! That music, classic. July 31st release date.
Oh, I'm sorry. If as long as the cast is correct, I'm there.
Oh, hang on a minute. Sony. No. That's all right. That's Morbius. Morbius is July the 31st. But it said that it was July.
The Spider-Man universe, Morbius.
I think so, because it said it was part of the Marvel Morbius.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Marvel Morbius project.
Morbius the vampire. And here's Bill Murray again. And he obviously picked that hat because he thought, I need to have something cool to my character.
Yeah, he's so cool though, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's such a cool guy.
I would love to be as cool as Bill Murray.
Bill Murray's great.
Bill Murray's cool without saying anything.
I love him in Kingpin.
It's just great.
I really love him in Kingpin. When he does that, I need you now to that bowling ball. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And his hair goes all off. It's quality, isn't it? It's absolute quality.
Bill Murray only did this because he was like, "Oh, go on then, I'll do a cameo. At least I haven't got to carry the movie." That's why he's done this.
Well, of course, but it's it's the money, isn't it?
Today at 4:32 p.m., we successfully trapped a Class 3 vapor.
You're telling me there is a ghost inside that house?
He's just great.
Booyah, emphasis on the boot.
Well, I would love to see that.
I'd love to have seen James Randi actually get somebody prove something to him. I'd love to have seen
He
that.
never has. Never. But some argue that he changes the goalposts.
Yeah,
But I don't think it. But to be fair, if somebody has got legitimate powers, I think that the people that complain that he's changing the goalposts are the people that can't prove that their powers are real because they don't have those powers, and therefore they will always argue that the test isn't correct, as opposed to them not meeting the criteria of the test.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
definitely.
That's what I think. It's like somebody looking for somebody who's 6'2", and I'm 6 foot, and me saying, "Well, your test is wrong."
Yeah,
because I am that height, and they go, "Well, no, you're not. You're not 6'2".
Yeah.
So no, I am. Your test is wrong. I am when I'm wearing shoes. Yes, but that's not the criteria. Take your shoes off.
Yeah,
Bang, you're 6 foot. Fuck off. And that's effectively why they'll always argue against the test.
And to be fair, he's the ultimate skeptic. He'd never believe it anyway. Because ultimately it would be, I have to believe you. So theoretically, he can just turn around and go, I don't believe you.
Exactly, he would have to do it in laboratory controlled conditions where it's not down to him being the final judge. It would have to be based on the somebody's proven ability would have to be over and above the law of averages and probability.
Definitely, I love the fact that he's taken down people like Uri Geller, and
yeah,
I mean that was fantastic. The fact that I think.
People raved about Geller as well. It was just ridiculous.
It's just one of those things, wasn't it? He was there at the right time when, and he exploited it to the extreme.
Yeah.
So and then you've got, I think it was Johnny Carson who
Right.
took him onto his Late Show and really set him up to fail. To the point where he says,
with the bending of spoons.
Yeah, he says, oh yeah. He says, none of your spoons here. These are all ours. Bend them.
Yeah.
And he couldn't do it. And then he said, I'm being blocked and this is ridiculous. The same thing as that guy said, I'm being blocked.
Yeah.
How's somebody blocking you?
Yeah.
It's just you can't do it, that's why.
Yeah. I mean, nobody knows. He used to rub the spoon, and if you rub metal in a particular place, there's a weakness, and you just basically cause heat, and then it becomes pliable, and you can do. He used to say things like, "Look, it's still bending, even though I'm not touching it." Well, yeah, because if you get it hot enough, gravity's going to pull it down.
Yeah, agreed. And it wasn't just that. What he used to do was weaken them before he brought them out because of his own spoons. So he would do this and this and this and this, get it to a point.
Yeah, metal fatigue, and
then he'd start doing it, and it looked like he did something amazing.
Yeah,
the guy's an idiot.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And that whole, I mean, if you had powers of psychokinesis, why would you use them to bend spoons or break spoons? Why wouldn't you use them to rescue people and lift people out of water if they're in danger?
Agreed.
Or, do you know what I mean? It's just a ludicrous thing. Why bending a spoon?
It's like
pointless.
Back to the guy who moved the paper and things like that. Now he's saying, I can move things with my mind. Fine, pick me up then.
Yeah.
I can't fake that. Pick me up.
Yeah. Oh, I can't do that. It requires too much power. It's like, oh, does it? You never said that to start off with. Now that I've said about that James Hadrick, I'm just going to Google him and make a statement on here, because if I'm incorrect, then I don't want to be sued for slander when this goes out on the podcast.
Or you could just cut it out.
Yeah, but it's kind of intrinsic to what we were talking about, isn't it? James Hadrick. Here we go. Let's have a look.
Well, if it's a crime that look good, guilty as charged.
Other than that, I feel like we keep him very low profile.
You drive my hearse with the ghost.
Right, according to Wikipedia, James Allen Hadrick, born February the 28th, 1959, is an American former stage performer and self-described psychic and a convicted child molester.
There you go.
Hadrick claimed to be able to perform acts of telekinesis, such as his trademark trick of moving a pencil resting on the edge of a table. Following a nationally televised demonstration of his abilities on the American reality show That's Incredible, he was unable to prove his supernatural abilities on another show, That's My Line, hosted by Bob Barker, and Hadrick subsequently confessed the fraud to an investigative reporter.
Good. At least he was honest in the end with that, but it doesn't excuse him from being an absolute fucking prick.
Yeah, I'm going to have a look and see if it says... Right, in 1989, Hadrick was sentenced to 17 years for molesting 5 boys in Huntington Beach, California. After serving his sentence, he was remanded to Atascadero State Hospital for treatment under the state's sexually violent predator law. Psychologist Jesus Padilla described Hadrick as an extremely difficult patient who suffers from paedophilia, paraphilia and antisocial personality disorder. He petitioned for release in May 2013, but a trial resulted in hung jury. He now resides at the Coalinga State Hospital. So, ladies and gentlemen, my statement was correct.
As I knew it would be.
Just one of those things where you have to qualify these sorts of...
Yeah, you have to quantify things like that, otherwise you get kind of... Yeah, because we make some outrageous statements on this show.
Well, we do, but also especially when it relates to convicted criminals, etc. If it turns out that person isn't a convicted criminal, then effectively you can just expect a lawsuit. So you've got to just
make sure you're correct in your statement.
Yeah, exactly. always make sure that at least you can then justify it with a source. We can quote a source.
Yeah.
If the source is incorrect, then
That's
I'm quoting a public source, so they just take down the public source if it's incorrect. This is a ludicrous film, and really nothing's happened. And I can't see how far we're in, but we've been recording for an hour and 20 minutes or
Can't that
thereabouts.
much.
So, I mean, can we actually say what's happened? Other than them just kind of going around and attacking a few ghosts and
Not really.
being at a rock concert and a
they're
devil.
not getting the attention I think would happen if these kind of people were around.
No.
You know, that showed in the original movie. We keep going back to the original
It's
movie.
the
but I'm-
Ghostbusters, isn't it? So
yeah, that attention would happen if you suddenly. We've said it many times. If we got the holy grail of footage
yeah,
to the point that it cannot be disputed
exactly.
and all that, we would become the most famous paranormal investigators the world has ever seen.
Damn straight.
You know, it wouldn't make us the best paranormal investigators in the world, but we would be the most famous because
Yeah.
we have proven that, without a doubt, there is something happening when you die because this is the spirit of a dead person.
Exactly, yeah.
The world would change dramatically overnight. People like Zach, whatever his name is, because I don't want to say his name, would
Yeah.
suddenly be null and void,
Yeah.
and we would become incredibly rich.
Yeah. And it's just bollocks that this is just
It's just talking shite for shite's sake.
it's just nothing. I mean, I would argue that nothing of any importance has happened in this film. Has it?
Not really, no. I mean, all the little bits that should, because nothing's moving the plot along.
No.
You know, it seems to be another thing to make a joke here and
How
there.
long is this film?
Too fucking long.
I mean, what's this all about? This is just them pissing about.
Yeah, testing. To be fair, I always thought that in the original Ghostbusters that there was no test. I like the fact that their test of their equipment was done actually on their first case.
But they're testing their equipment on things that are physical. They're not testing on things that are alleged paranormal
So, yeah,
phenomena.
exactly.
So how do they know it'll work?
Agreed. I mean, that makes me fly back to the original movie where they go upstairs and he goes, you know, it just occurred to me that we haven't actually done any tests on this equipment. And he goes, should we be worried or something like that? And he goes, why worry? Each one of us is carrying an unlicensed nuclear accelerator.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
You know, that kind of. I like that. Because it's
Yeah.
very hap-handed. We don't know what's going to happen with
yeah.
this.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you not know what goes on here, Kevin?
But everything here is just for jokes.
Yeah. And
Everything.
they're not funny jokes, are they?
No, not at all.
They're not funny jokes at all.
I think we've only laughed at Chris Hemsworth because his delivery.
Yeah. I mean, Chris is funny, isn't he?
He's very good at comedy.
Yeah. But this is just rubbish.
Get back to the Bible. Back by the bathroom. Left. There you go.
I wonder who they will get involved for the new one now. Now you've really got me thinking about casting. Yeah,
Well,
presumably Dan Aykroyd will be back.
presumably it'll be that the whole lineup. That's ideally what you'd want, isn't it?
That's
Everybody, bar Harold Ramis.
But they'll probably do a nice nod to say he's a ghost or something.
Yeah.
But a good, nice, friendly ghost, I would imagine.
Yeah, or they'll have his portrait on the wall and it'll just be a nod to him, or
Like Indiana Jones and and Indiana Jones, the fourth one they did, where they had a picture of Sean Connery.
of Henry. Yeah,
Yeah.
Henry Jones
Because
Senior.
they originally wanted him in it.
Did they?
Yeah, and Connery said,
Oh, why?
because he's retired. He's like, I'm fucking 90 years old, fuck off.
Is he 90?
No, I think he's close though.
He must be. I mean, he was. I reckon he was about 30 in 1966, which is 53 years ago. I'm gonna say he's 84.
Me and James have had more fun Googling than we
Yeah.
have on these movies.
I'm gonna say that Sean Connery is 84 years old.
I'm gonna say he's 87.
Okay.
Ooh, I have the answer.
Let's have a look.
Do you want to know?
He's 88.
He's 88.
Well done. So yeah, so we both of us weren't that. I was out by 4 years. You were out by 1 year.
Do you know the thing that's really going to annoy?
25th of August 1930.
I know.
So he was in his mid-30s when he did the first Bond then.
And it shows too, because if you look at 1971's Diamonds Are Forever, he aged dramatically in those few years that he didn't play.
Oh
Bond.
yeah, he did, yeah. Was it Dr. No his first one?
Dr. No was his first one in 1962.
62. So he was 32 then when he
Yeah.
did Dr. No.
But he didn't look 32.
He looked older than 32, didn't
Then
he?
that's the thing you need for Bond. You don't want somebody who's... Tim Dalton said it best for me. When he got cast in an interview, he goes, I think James Bond should be somebody who's 35 to 40.
Yes.
What you don't want is somebody who's 25 to 30, who looks like a teenager.
Yeah, that does not look like a 32-year-old.
Absolutely not. He looks like he's approaching 40 at that point.
Yeah, it looks about 38, doesn't he?
Yeah, it looks like
Something
he's
that.
approaching 40.
Yeah, because he's got lines. He's quite haggard, but really being a secret agent and a bruiser, then he needs to be.
Yeah,
He needs to look haggard because
that's
he's
why
gone
Daniel
through.
Craig works so well.
He's gone through hell, hasn't he?
Yeah, and that's what I like about Daniel Craig's version. Although he was like 36 when he took the role on, he generally looked like he was fucked even at the age of 36.
Yeah.
Even though his body was like, well, let's face it, the women loved it as a Greek god type thing when he comes out of that water.
Oh, which is a nod to.
Dr. No with Ursula Andress.
Yeah.
But at least he looked like he'd been through it.
Yeah, there. I mean, like, he doesn't look young there, does he?
No, not at all. I mean, I'm looking forward to him coming back.
The music, another shit version of the music.
It just sounds like a cheesy...
It sounds like someone's playing it on a little organ,
yeah,
doesn't it?
like a cheesy synthesizer version that you used to play at home.
Exactly.
And here she is, Annie Potts.
Yeah, we
Janine.
get one.
I like the fact they put her back in the glasses.
Yeah, you've got to put her. You've got to do that, haven't you?
And the fact she just went, what do you want?
What do you want? She's great.
Notice Rick Moranis didn't show up for this though.
No.
Because he retired as well.
Oh, has he really?
He did, yeah.
Has he gone into production or just completely
No,
retired?
he retired, but I think he's
Oh,
coming
wow.
back now. He's getting roles.
Oh,
A bit
I
like
hope he comes back in
a
this.
bit like Joe
Ghostbusters.
Pesci. Joe Pesci did too.
Oh, Joe
He retired, but he's coming back in a movie that Scorsese's just done with Bob De Niro and Al Pacino.
Oh wow.
So that'll be
That's one to watch then.
I can't remember what the film's called, The Irishman or something. So that'll be
Another
really,
gangsters.
if it's Scorsese, it's going to be. So that'll be interesting. To
Oh,
see.
here we go. Again, this is like I refer to it as the Solomon Kane
Yeah, interesting idea, I must say though.
being captured within the mirrors.
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked it if it looked in it. It looked a bit like where Zul was.
Yeah.
You know, when they look into the fridge.
Yeah.
You know,
Zoom.
they look into one of the mirrors and you can see things riding around.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
I'm a genius. I see things that no one else does.
And partially, he's actually right. He is a genius. He's managed to tap into something that nobody else could.
Yeah.
I am not the only one seeking revenge.
But probably you're a useless character
Yeah.
because you might as well just have a moustache and start twirling it. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Garbage that needs to be cleaned up. And mostly dudes. When these barriers start to form, army of the undead.
It's making me feel sick. This movie.
He just said an army of the undead. Well, they're not undead, are they? They've already died.
Yeah, exactly. So they would be.
They're not undead.
They'll just
Undead
be-
means you haven't died.
They would just be the army of dead.
Yeah.
Maybe they couldn't say it because of Evil Dead 3.
Yeah.
Because they were the army of the dead.
But he said the army of the undead would be unleashed, but the undead are like zombies.
Yeah. But these are not. These are ghosts.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense. They're
Alright.
discarnate. They're
Poor writing then, really.
yeah, bad.
Oh, that's right. I remember now. He's actually possessed, isn't he? And then Chris Hemsworth gets possessed, and then all these other people get possessed.
I thought it was near the end.
No, it looks like we've got a while to go yet. Fuck me.
I thought it was near the end. It's we've what? Well, we must have easily have done an hour and 20. I thought that. How long is this fucking film? I
It's
reckon
got to be like a 151 or something, isn't it?
I reckon we've done an hour and 20 because I reckon we had about 10 minutes at the beginning.
Yeah, because we were just chatting.
Yeah, but it was only about 10 minutes, wasn't it? Easily. I mean, you could. Why would you make this film like the best part of 2 hours?
2 hours 14 minutes.
2 hours 14.
2 hours 14 minutes.
So we've got almost another hour of this.
Yes.
This is bullshit.
Yes, we have.
How could we have another hour of this bollocks?
I don't know. The only thing keeping me going is that we keep going off on tangents.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I like doing that. I find that perfectly acceptable.
You can just hear the depression in my breathing.
Yeah, it's just shit, isn't it?
It's fucking terrible.
But it has no redeeming qualities, does it?
No, that's why I said I was surprised when Bill Murray did these, you know, his cameo, because he normally, and I'm sure he's poking fun and thinking, yeah, at least I don't have to be the Ghostbuster anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is probably why he's the debunker.
It's just such bollocks.
You know, I kind of agree with what he said actually when they were talking about Ghostbusters 3 about 10 years ago or something. And he says, I'm not doing it. Unequivocally, I won't be doing it. Nobody wants to see a bunch of old men running around trying to be Ghostbusters.
I reckon it'd be cool.
That was his words. Nobody wants to see a bunch of old men trying to run around and be Ghostbusters.
I'd love to see that.
But, Bill, even in '84, you look like an old man. He just did. He looked about 50.
Exactly.
Which is, he's always looked older than he is.
Oh, starting to spin again, which means some shit's about to kick off.
We get some drinks and celebrate. How about it, Aaron? It's my treat.
Excuse me. A couple quick questions for my blog. First, how does it feel listening?
For my blog, see, that's a telling thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a very 2016 thing. Blogs are the rage.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'm surprised there's not a lot of YouTubers trying to film them and try and get them on their podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. What sort of person would do that? We would never dream of doing that.
To be fair, the podcast we're involved in, mate, is fucking superb.
It is.
And I'm not saying that just because I'm on it. It's informative, and it's not about we've got Zach Bagans on here or anything like that. It's not like that. We talk to
who wants that?
Interesting researchers who actually have spent a lifetime doing it, or
I know.
And interesting people, not just there to promote their shit.
Oh, they just regurgitate the same old bollocks, don't they? That's what's frustrating about those. It's just this is just one of the worst things.
Tell you what though, I love the fact our chat that we had about the field at this point is the highest download, because it means people are actually interested.
I noticed that. That was great that it's had the most downloads.
I think at this point it's over 50, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for
the others are like 30 something or 40 something.
But it just shows that that somebody listened to it and went, shit man, you've got to listen to these.
Yeah, they listen to them more than they listen to the ones where we'd had guests on, which is
really well-known guests too.
Yeah, which is good. Which is good because it means that perhaps our listeners are more inclined to want to hear about what our theories are rather than what the theories are of some of the other
perhaps
well-known
they've just listened to those guests many times elsewhere.
Possibly.
And then you've got a couple of fresh-faced people talking about it, and
exactly.
and nobody, we really went deep on that.
Yeah,
one.
we covered
really
lots
did.
of things.
And we really were quite brutal and blunt.
Yeah.
And we got no backlash of it,
No.
which I kind of expected from the YouTube generation. I really did.
I don't think the YouTube generation listen to our podcasts
I'd
because
like them
they don't want to hear what we have to say. I think
I'd like
they
them
know.
to though, because I think it would pass on to them, and they'll pass it to somebody else, and then they'll pass it on to somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, look at those drawings in that book there.
I know.
Look at this.
Oh, terrible.
There's just
It's basically the same plot line as the original Ghostbusters movie, but on a larger scale.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas the first one was about releasing Gozer to come and destroy the world.
yeah,
Gozer the Destructor.
yeah,
And this is precisely the same story on a grander scale, that he wants to open the barrier of the
Yeah.
dimension to let them in to destroy the world.
yeah.
It's the same thing again.
What was all that the Gozerian Volgas Zildra or something,
Yeah.
isn't it?
The Destructor has
Yeah.
come.
I love that bit.
Choose. What? We don't understand. Choose the form of the Destructor.
That's it. Yeah. And then it's said that it's been chosen. You have chosen. Wait, I didn't choose anything.
Yeah, exactly. What, did you choose? Did you choose? I didn't choose anything.
And then
I love the look
yeah.
at the slow look at
Yeah.
Ray. Fantastic.
It's Mr. Stay Puft the Marshmallow Man. Classic.
I also quite like the fact that he's literally gone into shock,
Yeah.
and so he goes, "Ray has gone bye-bye.
Yeah.
What have you got left?"
Look at this.
I was gone when there's so much left to do. Did you, Abby? It's brilliant, really. My devices.
What I don't get is that not only that, they've been fighting ghosts now for at least
Yeah.
a month, 2 months, whatever it is, and they're still shitting themselves.
Yeah.
I would expect them by now to be pretty shit hot.
I'd just be going blah 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 whatever. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I'm pretty sure most people that start paranormal investigating at some point, at least when they first started, they're probably a bit apprehensive because they don't know what they're going to get.
Yeah.
But the more and more that you do, the less.
But you become desensitised.
Yes, exactly. Which,
And that's a nod to The Exorcist, isn't
of
it?
course, it is. Yeah, and that's a nod to the slime
Yeah.
from Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah.
It's amazing how Chris Hemsworth is there. I tell you what, you can see, although Kristen Wiig's bloody good, I'm sorry she is, but the star power of just Liam Hemsworth is obviously overshadowing everyone
Chris.
in this movie.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chris, not his brother Liam.
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth is overshadowing everyone in
Yeah.
this movie.
Oh yeah.
And you can just see, you know when we've talked about it before, that you've got TV actors that are good,
Yeah.
but then there's a difference between TV actor and somebody who's a fully fledged movie star.
Yeah. It's like putting somebody like what's his name? Adam Woodyard, who plays Ian Beale from Ian Beale from EastEnders.
I've got nothing left.
Next to George Clooney.
Yeah, exactly. You know, although to be fair, you would never consider. Actually, that's not true. If you go back and watch ER,
Yeah.
when George Clooney came, first becoming, right there and then you can see
Yeah.
he was going to be a massive star.
Yeah.
There was no doubt about that.
No, but that side by side comparison
Yeah.
between a good TV actor and a full on A-list
Yeah, exactly.
movie actor,
And it just shows.
exactly.
They command the screen.
Yeah,
That's the difference. And
that's the
acting-
difference between a celebrity and a star.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
Exactly that. They're just special.
Exactly.
Hello, Patricia.
The difference between a singer and an artist.
Yes.
is these sorts
Yes.
of comparisons, isn't it?
Yeah, you were talking about Freddie Mercury earlier on. Now there's a right difference right there. When he sings, it's full of emotion, and his vocal range was
Fantastic.
far above lots and lots of singers.
Oh,
Let's
yeah,
face
that was
it.
amazing.
I think he's even actually considered to be the greatest ever vocalist. I think he was voted recently.
Oh, was he really?
I'm sure,
Right.
because of his range.
Yeah.
Oh, go away. Doesn't she start saying the power of Christ compels you or something?
I can't remember.
power of Paddy compels you. I think is what she said.
As if she'd
Be able to do that.
Listen, I figured you're gonna need my help, so I borrowed all this stuff. If you could just chuck me down my own python pack, that'd be great. Part of the team, I can help out. I'm not
Here we go.
I'm warning you, Ghostbusters, alright? Nothing's gonna stop me. Oh, man. Thanks for the upgrade.
You big bully.
Ride a motorcycle. Oh, that's so not good.
Just so stupid. And again, it's part of the film that's fucking pointless, isn't
Yeah,
it?
agreed.
It's deviated again from opening the barrier and all that sort of stuff. And now he's just pissing about possessing people. What a waste of fucking time. I hate these
And not only
films.
that, if you can fucking... he's the guy that was at that place with the mirrors, right? So, if he can travel anywhere he wants as a spirit, which you've already seen him do,
Yeah.
why the fuck would he want to possess them anyway?
I don't know.
He would get as close as he possibly could to the place he needs to be, possess somebody there and finish what he's
Yeah,
started.
exactly. Just get the closest that he can go.
He doesn't need to be in one of them.
No, it's pointless.
Adam Garcia, I haven't seen him for a long time.
God, yeah.
The Untouchables.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I'm surprised nobody's tried to remake that yet.
that was a good film.
Amazing.
That's a
Kevin Costner.
Connery again, isn't it?
Yes.
Kevin Costner.
You send one of us to the hospital. If he sends you to the hospital, you'll send him to the fucking walk.
That's it. Yeah, talk about escalation, isn't it?
Yeah. They originally wanted to cast him as Gandalf,
Oh, really? Okay.
and he turned it down. I believe it's Gandalf. Or was it Sauron? Might have been Sauron, actually.
What do you mean, Saruman?
Saruman, that's it.
Yeah, the one that Chris Lee played. Yeah,
And
Saruman.
he turned
Saruman
it
the
down.
White.
To be fair, I love Christopher Lee in that role, but I would have been very interested to see Sean Connery's portrayal of it.
I think that Christopher Lee
Owned
was the best for Saruman. I think you need somebody that at one point you could see would have been a kind man, but then was changed by the
I
power
like
that Sauron
because
brought
you
in.
see the kind version of him in The Hobbit,
Yes.
and you're right, it's a complete flip, and you can see him go, "Hello there, old friend."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he really is like Gandalf becomes, excuse me, as Gandalf the White.
Yeah. Yeah, he's great. And those films are really good.
I love them. The extended ones are my favourite versions. Although I still fucking hate Frodo. He annoys the shit out of me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I don't think that's down to the actor.
It's the whole. He is a bit annoying though, isn't it? The sort of doe-eyed and the.
And he always looks like he's looking lovely into Sam's eyes.
Yeah.
You know, I always thought that at some point during that
Gonna
that
bum him
walk,
or
they've had a
something.
bum. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Oh, Rosie, I'll give you fucking Rosie. Come back. Do you know what I mean?
I'll show you the ring of power.
Oh.
I'll Mount Doom.
Here's Gandalf's stuff for you, boy.
Yeah. It's terrible. But I know what you mean. It is. There is an air of that, isn't there?
Wonderfully played by the pair of them, I have to say.
Oh yeah.
But there's an air of sexual tension between the two of them.
Yeah, whether it's there or not, it's acted in such a way that it can be interpreted that
Yeah,
way, which
exactly.
is enough to make it. I mean, the special effects there are pretty good.
They're good, but I'm so sick of seeing a fucking giant cloud above
Yeah.
the city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even in the absolutely fantastic Avengers, there's a giant fucking cloud above the city. Do you know what I mean? It's just it's done to death. If you forgive the pun again, it needs
Yeah.
to, something else needs to
And
happen.
that's synonymous with the original film, isn't it?
I would have loved it if that building was the building
The
from
same one.
I know they, drew on it and made it bigger and all that.
Oh,
sort
did
of
they?
stuff,
So
yeah.
there was a proper matte painting.
Yeah, I think
for
it was a matte painting. but
Right.
To recreate that would have been really good. Now that's a funny joke.
Yeah.
And I love the fact they didn't use the
Yeah.
for Ecto 1.
Yeah, because you need that in the new film.
Can't wait to see what they do.
Yeah, there's Dan.
Dan Aykroyd.
Those are actual ghosts flying around.
And classified golden vapors, nothing to worry about.
No, it's important. Don't you see what's happening?
Look, I know about a Chinatown. I don't
Class 5.
I
I ain't
think-
afraid of no ghost.
I think that would have been good if it was actually him. It was actually Ray,
Yeah,
and this is what he's become.
yeah, that he's retired. But the thing is, that would have then potentially fucked it because people would have gone, well, hang on a minute, in that version,
Actually, you're right.
He's retired or whatever. But the thing is, they could just say, well, it's an alternate universe. This is what would have happened to Ray if he'd have gone down this route.
I'm guessing that's what they were trying to say. It
Yeah.
was actually Ray. I think.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I think if all this shit started kicking off, Ray would have been the first.
Oh yeah, he would have helped out.
Oh, here comes Slimer.
But he doesn't make that noise in the original film.
He doesn't, but at least they made it look exactly like the original Slimer.
Yeah.
The face. Which was based on John Belushi, was it?
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I believe so, because he was originally meant to be in the film, and then he died.
Yeah.
Because it was originally written for different actors, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. It was. Right.
Eddie Murphy was originally meant to be Winston Zedmore.
Oh, really?
And his part was very big, and then it got stripped when he left the role.
Oh, wow.
No, don't you think we're
So Slimer was based on John Belushi.
Absolutely, yeah.
Such a shame about John Belushi as well.
It was, but it was self-inflicted.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
Yeah. He was in the Blues Brothers, wasn't he?
yeah,
With,
Animal House.
Yeah. Great comedy actor.
Oh, timing
On a
like
mission from God.
no other. It was very much.
Yeah.
When people say people like John Candy, they were very much very hard.
Well, John Belushi, I think, is kind of the sort of character and actor that Jack Black is trying to be.
yeah, I
Or
think so.
Or
but
was trying to be when he first started.
I think
But he plays the same character. in every
that's my
film.
problem with Jack Black. Jack Black doesn't stretch himself.
School of Rock, perfect.
Yeah, fitted him down to a T.
But every other film that Jack Black's in is the same character.
And it's a shame.
Yeah.
Because I bet he's got more range than what they should.
I'd
And
love
he
to
has.
see him as like a serial killer or something.
Have you seen him in Tropic Thunder?
No.
Watch Tropic Thunder.
Right.
That is a comedy you might enjoy.
Sort of action flick, isn't it?
It's not really an action flick, but it's
Oh,
got
okay.
action in it.
Right.
It's actually like a mockumentary of a.
Oh, okay.
It's got Robert Downey Jr. in it, Ben Stiller.
Cool.
And Robert Downey Jr. plays an actor who's so fucking method that he dyes his skin black to become a black guy. But he's an Australian.
Right.
And he literally starts walking around going, "Huh, I want to get some fried chicken." And it's so funny.
That's classic.
It's
Oh, there you go.
the Marshmallow Man. In this case, it's not.
The pig face is quite funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pig face is amusing. But that's what we used to do that at school. Did you used to do that?
Yeah, of
You
course.
put your face up against it and then blow and your mouth. would go
I
in.
used to do it, and I got in trouble for it by my teacher.
It's quality, isn't it? That's shit.
That's
the
really
special
bad.
effects are shit there.
It's a nice nod.
Yeah.
That's all it is. But your homework for this weekend is Tropic Thunder.
Okay, I probably won't watch that.
I think you'd like it.
I definitely want to watch. I was thinking about watching a Godfather film this weekend.
Oh, I'm not sure I could. I don't think I've got the energy to watch it tonight.
No, I'd probably watch it tomorrow or something.
I've got to get back, feed the cat, and then I'm going to climb into bed.
God, this is 1 hour and 48 minutes that we've been doing
Oh,
this.
so we're not far off from being done.
But this film is fucking shit, isn't it? I mean, fucking hell.
There's no redeeming features for me. That's the thing. Apart from Chris Hemsworth,
Yeah.
I keep saying I like him, and I do. He's a great actor, movie star through and through.
Yeah, but what the fuck is going on?
It's because he's been possessed.
I know, but it's just shit. You should be dancing by the Bee Gees.
Here's a fun fact for you, everybody. When I was younger, I applied to Star in Your Eyes to be Barry Gibb.
Huh?
I applied to Stars in Your Eyes when I was younger to be Barry Gibb.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Cool.
I got the application through and everything, and I decided I was far too young to do it.
Oh, right.
If they did a kids version, I'd have been saying.
That's quality.
I'd look ridiculous with a beard at the age of 8 though.
Yeah. What would you have sung?
I don't know, How Deep Is Your Love or something like that.
Okay. That's like Slender Man, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sick of that story as well.
Yeah.
Pigman, I'm sick of that. The goat sucker or whatever it is, fuck me.
Chupacabra.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Cryptozoology.
Cryptozoology.
Yeah, cryptoid. The cryptid, sorry. The Chupacabra, which literally means goat sucker.
Yeah. See, they did that bit where they all pulled the thing, and that's obviously a nod. But it's not as good as Bill Murray going, grab your stick, hold them, make them hard.
Yeah. We be fast and they be slow or something.
Yeah. Let's show this prehistoric bitch how we do things downtown.
That's quality, that is, isn't it? I love that film.
This movie needs Roger Moore.
He's passed away, hasn't he? Bless him.
But it still needs Roger Moore to cheer everybody up.
I'm just attempting re-entry. All those feathers and he still couldn't fly. We've got that. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I love it.
All those feathers and he still can't fly. It was brilliant.
Oh god.
That's what we quote. That was when we were doing our Highlander 2 podcast.
Yes, we did, yeah. All those feathers and he still can't fly.
Yeah. That is definitely the best.
That's what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to have a James Bond marathon.
Oh, okay. Starting with Doctor No. Just like back to back.
I think so. I can get through at least 6 tomorrow. Easily.
Jesus. Yeah, that's 12 hours, isn't it? Easily.
Mm.
You'd have to start about what? 8 a.m?
Maybe.
Run through till about 9 p.m. because you've obviously got a break for.
Yeah, exactly. I'll have a takeaway tomorrow or something. So I don't have to cook.
God, so you could do 6. Where would that take you to?
I'll manage the Secret Service, I think.
Oh, would it really?
Yeah.
Wouldn't even get you to Moonraker.
We wouldn't even hit Roger Moore yet.
Jesus.
I think if I remember correctly, Sean did 5.
Right.
Then George Lazenby took over for On a Managed the Secret Service.
Yeah.
Then Sean came back in 1971 for Diamonds Are Forever.
Yeah.
And then Live and Let Lie, which was 1973, where Roger Moore took over.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I know him up with James Bond.
Live and Let Die, which is Jane Seymour.
Yeah. Oh, she's fucking gorgeous in that movie.
She is.
And to be fair, she's gorgeous now.
She is.
Very pretty lady.
She's a pretty lady. What was her name in it? Solitaire.
Yeah, Solitaire.
Yeah.
And I like it because he soils her. Because he's James Bond.
I love that film.
Me too. I like it because he soils her, and then she goes, "Is there time before we go for one more time?" And he goes, "Absolutely." There's no sense. I like it because there's no sense going off half cocked.
Yeah.
Oh, Roger Moore, you're a fucking genius.
But doesn't she claim that she's lost her powers after
That's
she's
exactly
lost
what
her
happened.
virginity?
That's
yeah.
exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Because the main bad guy is so upset that he wasn't the one to take it from
Oh
him.
yeah.
I decide when you.
Because wasn't he the guy that plays Baron Samedi?
No, Baron
No,
Samedi's
that's
a
the other
different
guy,
character,
isn't
yeah.
it?
He plays, and I cannot for the life of me because we're getting on time.
What's his name? He's the black guy, isn't he?
Yeah. He plays 2 parts. He plays Mr. Big, who's his
Mr.
alter
Big, that's it. Yes.
who's his alter
Look
ego.
at that, ridiculous.
Yeah, completely. His alter ego, and then he's got the main person.
That's
who
it.
is.
I like Baron Samedi in that.
And that's all he does.
Yeah.
He was a dancer, I think.
He's brilliant.
Dancer. Made an impact, and he didn't do that much in the movie.
No.
And he
Well,
was
it's a proper character in Jamaican, West Indian theology, isn't it?
yeah.
The whole all the zombie cults and everything. Baron Samedi is basically like death.
Oh, fuck off. Fucking falling over on a
He's the top-hatted, skull-faced.
Yeah, which they
death character.
make a nod to Inspector
Right.
at the start.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Of course, because they're at the Dias de los Muertes in Mexico, aren't they?
Yes, the Day of the Dead. I like that film. It got slammed a bit, but it's still very
I loved
good.
it.
Daniel Craig is so fucking good.
He is.
As James Bond.
He's the best Bond.
I slated him when he
So
first
did
got
I.
cast.
I said Bond is not Blondie.
Yeah, I did all
off.
that. I said, this is not Bond, this is not this, blah, blah, blah. And then they released that first trailer. And I went, I'm such a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
He looks like James Bond.
He's brilliant.
And I think what it was is because the first picture they released, he had long hair.
Uh,
I went, oh, fuck off. And he looked really skinny and wasn't right. And then apparently it was Daniel Craig's idea. He said, fuck this, let's cut my hair. If I'm supposed to come out of the SAS, I shouldn't look like this.
Yeah.
So they shaved his head, and obviously he's been bulking.
Yeah.
And then they released the picture again, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, that'll do.
That'll do me. That's James Bond right there.
Exactly. This. Oh, you can tell we haven't talked about this film hardly at all. If you add up the time that we've spoken specifically about Ghostbusters while watching Ghostbusters,
We've talked more about
about
the original.
5 minutes we've probably spoken about this film.
We've talked about the original more than we have this. Because, once again, the only redeeming feature for me has been Chris, who's superb.
And now this is turning into like a Disney movie, the fact that he's sort of swinging and flying around.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm pretty sure you two would be massively injured.
Yeah.
Because, he's at least a 16-stone man.
Easily.
Oh, you're going to have to slap me in the face in a minute, mate, to wake me up.
I know, this is just unbelievably shit.
I can't believe that Hollywood actually gives money to people to make these types
For
of
this, just give it to charity. If they see a film and they go, this looks like a shit idea, but we've got the budget, give that budget to charity and fuck the film.
We talked about Highlander the Source and stuff like that somebody actually gave them money to make that movie. Now we've actually been doing a lot of budget checks. I'm interested to find out what the budget was.
For Highlander the Source. Oh, look at this.
Oh, fuck off.
Was it something like 48 million or 84 million or something for Highlander the Source?
The budget, 13 million.
13?
Is how much they gave for that budget.
Well, that's not much. How much was this? 100 and something?
144.
Jesus. So this got 30 million more than Highlander the Source. And Highlander the Source was only like 8 years ago?
Yeah, the Highlander the Source was from 2007.
Oh, right.
13 million.
This got 10 times that.
Easily.
Fucking wank, innit?
They made Highlander, the first one, for 16.
I know, but the first Highlander was absolutely amazing.
Mate, do you know what? They really believed in the sequel because they made it for 34 million.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Highlander 2, the Quickening.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Holy shit, that's a hell of a budget. Just movies popping up. And Stranger Tides, which was Pirates of the Caribbean, their budget was $410 million.
Pirates of the Caribbean, 410 million?
According to this.
Is that because they had some huge names, though, do you think?
I'd imagine it's more than that. I'd imagine a lot of that went to Johnny Depp.
Yeah, well, I imagine.
I think he was commanding easily 80 to 100 million.
I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, here we go.
What part of small and friendly did he not understand?
The thing is that this is supposed to be a new story, but basically lifts the formula from
the original.
And is somehow neither new nor a nod.
It fails completely in what it's trying to do.
On every level.
Yeah, completely. I mean, like I said, it's not the cast.
It's not a comedy.
Although it's trying to be.
Exactly. It tries to be, but it's not funny, so it's not a comedy. But it claims to be one.
Yeah.
It tries to nod to the original, yet be new, and is neither.
Agreed.
It's badly written, badly directed.
Paul Feige, wasn't it? Was the director.
It's just a waste of. It was just a huge waste of time and money.
Agreed. But I agree with you. I think at the time they've been talking about doing a Ghostbusters film, at least a sequel, for at least 20 years.
Yes, easily. Yeah.
So, and I think when they couldn't get the original. Well, actually, that's not true. Dan Aykroyd would have done it in a heartbeat.
Yes.
I think they tried to get Bill Murray going and all this sort, and he didn't want to know. They've obviously gone, I tell you what, let's make a new version.
Yeah.
And then because it's a built-in franchise, because it's been around before, they were hoping those built-in franchise fans would move over to this to continue on the success of those movies.
Look, I mean this, Mr. and Mrs. Slimer. And they've basically just substituted Mr. Stay Puft with the Ghostbusters logo.
Yeah, which I guess would work in an idea, but I don't think so.
But it's the formula, isn't it? You know, it doesn't work having this massive giant thing, because that, you know, this story is about opening the barrier for all spirits, not just about bringing forth this destructor in the form of Mr. Stay Puft.
The original script idea for Ghostbusters 3 was literally meant to be Hell on Earth.
Right.
It was meant to seeping through the New York streets.
Right.
I'm guessing.
Like in Revelation with the dead rising.
I'm absolutely guessing that sounds like parts of that script has been lifted and put into this.
Yeah.
Because theoretically that's exactly what's happening now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in the original film it kind of happened, didn't it, start off with, because when Dana was on the bed in her outfit and sort of like trancing, you had all these weird things flying through the set, and that taxi driver, that literally the dead were rising, so it kind of makes sense. But this is just direct rip-off, isn't it?
Yeah, completely.
Get rid of Stay Puft, replace him with that, have the four having to duke it out with him at the end in the middle of the street,
and then credits.
Yeah.
That is the most bit of good acting I've seen on movie. Just that one scream.
Yeah.
Very well delivered.
Yeah, and that's it.
I don't care if you're a Ghostbuster or not. You don't suddenly turn into a fucking action hero.
No.
If you're not those type of people to begin
Exactly.
with.
Exactly.
I mean, if you're all free runners or something, then I'll give it credence that you can do these type of things.
But you wouldn't do this.
No. Now, an interesting idea that she's literally passing through the dimensions.
Yeah.
And why would he suddenly start ignoring her?
Yeah.
So not having any sound is meant to make you feel something for this scene.
Yes. In the same way that lots of modern films do this with people crying or screaming.
Yeah.
And it was first done, to my knowledge, the first time I ever saw it done was Godfather Part 3, when he cries out on the stairs after his daughter's been shot accidentally. And then it breaks from the music and the silent scream back to him actually screaming and then collapsing, which is a very poignant scene.
I don't get this fucking hair colour change either.
No, I suppose it's because they've been on the other side, and the fright of the experience is, has changed them in some way. You know, extreme stress can cause hair to change colour.
Maybe that's why my hair's going white.
I get the occasional white hair. Well, I'd love a Malin streak.
I'd
just love a Malin streak to appear one day. Just a white streak.
Oh, I think I would like it to start going white, because I think I could carry it off.
Or just one white lock. So just the front bit, just white, but all the rest of it dark like it is.
They didn't pay much for those wigs, did they?
No.
And 144 million, you think you'd get a better wig? They should. I think any time that anyone needs a wig in a movie, they should go and speak to whoever used to do it for Sean Connery, because his hair always looks real.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
What did you do here? I did a lot, actually. I'll have you know that I walked over to the power box, pushed a bunch of buttons. Everything got sucked into the portal and it closed up.
Kev. Sweet, Kev, the two are unrelated. More important question, when did you have time to get a sandwich?
When I was looking for you guys, I looked at that deli over there.
When we were risking our lives trying to save New York City, you stopped in to get a
a pointless conversation about why we were trying to save the world or whatever. You went to get a sandwich, and it goes on for far too long.
I think
it's a pointless reference.
This movie could do with trimming at least 40 minutes out of it.
Easily. This is far too long. I mean, it's gone over. It's 2 hours now. Getting on for maybe an hour 50 because of our preamble at the beginning. But the best part of 2 hours for what is effectively a very basic child kind of romp, isn't it? You know, it's for kids.
Agreed, but you can do it better.
Yeah.
I told you there's a film I watched recently called it's with Kurt Russell, and he plays Santa Claus.
Oh, I remember you said, yeah.
Now that is obviously a kids movie.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, it doesn't treat the kids like idiots.
Right.
Whereas this movie treats you like an idiot.
This is, I think it's just one of those. It's literally dumbed down, isn't it?
That's what I mean. They've dumbed down completely the comedy.
Yeah.
To a level which is.
See in Black Rain.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. That's a quality film as well.
But it's dumbed it down to the point where you are literally treating your audience as idiots.
Yeah.
Whereas the original Ghostbusters never did that.
This is like you've seen Extras, haven't you?
Yes, absolutely.
Extras. So you've seen the when the whistle blows comedy series that with Ray from that sort of stuff. It's for thickos, you know, that
completely.
comedy, and Ricky Gervais's character Andy Millman realizes that it's not what he initially wanted.
He's basically sold out to become famous,
and it's selling out to the thickest demographic in society, and this is what this film does. This film is for people who are just happy to go and eat popcorn and just sit glazed over and just go, huh, every 10 minutes. So go, huh, every 10 minutes, and then just look and go, oh, she's fallen over.
And I think what I liked about Extras though is his own self-importance when he has that really popular show, and he's just brought down in a great big splash to earth.
Yeah.
When somebody who really is famous, like David Bowie, shows up. Crazy, sad little fat man.
Fucking brilliant.
Good impression too, actually. And he starts
a little
singing.
fat man who sold his soul.
Exactly, and he just...
Little fat man who sold his dream. And he goes, chubby little loser.
And you can literally see, because Ricky Gervais is really good at showing that
the vulnerability.
Yeah,
yeah,
really good. And you can see him getting smaller and smaller.
See his pug nose face will go pug, pug like that, aren't they, at him? That is so funny.
Brilliant. And I tell you what though, that scene where he goes into the Big Brother house to redeem himself.
Yeah.
And
when he talks about the flying fish.
And he starts crying, and he's really good at that too, actually.
Yeah.
Where he I know what I should have done, and all this sort of stuff, and it's very, very believable.
Yeah, because he apologises to Maggie, doesn't he, through the camera, and says, "I've been a rubbish friend, and I'm so sorry." That's what he says, isn't it?
And it's perfect.
And then he just goes, "I'm going to go," and that other girl comes over to him and goes, "I think it's June Sarpong, isn't it, or something?" And she says, "That was a wonderful thing that you said. Can I come with you?" And he's like, "Yeah, okay." And she goes, "I'm just going to go and put my gold bikini on." He's like, "For fuck's sake," can he just leave? Doesn't he? Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant.
Winston.
Is that Ernie?
That's Winston Zedmore.
God, Ernie's aged a lot.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm remembering him from The Crow, 1994.
And it's finally over.
25 years ago now, The Crow.
Fucking hell.
So he might have been in his 40s then, he's probably in his late 60s now.
Easily.
Which is crazy.
I tell you what, I am looking forward to... And
you see, this should have happened during the film. Yeah, it's the Ghostbusters. Yeah, you get them, go get them, Ghostbusters.
And now they've actually got the proper place, isn't it?
Yeah. The fire station thing.
And you can tell it is because it's got the same setup.
Yeah, but they should have had crowds of people. Yeah, saving the city, cleaning up the town, cleaning up the town. That was one of the songs that was on the. But this should have been the opening credits, crossing the streams and stuff. But that was shit. And Dan Aykroyd was an executive producer. I'm sorry, Dan, you fucking idiot.
He had to though, because it's his property.
Yeah, but Dan, you fucking idiot.
I'm just wondering how much input he actually had.
Well, he must have had loads.
I think so too, because like I said...
Because he wrote the original, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, him and Hammer Ramis.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing, as I said, I think parts of his Ghostbuster 3 script was into this movie. Because that bit with the void opening, hell on earth.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I could I could think of. Look, they've even got based on the film.
Yeah.
I didn't realise Ivan Reitman did some writing on it.
Melissa McCarthy was rubbish in it. Kristen Wiig was limp. Leslie Jones was piss poor. Kate McKinnon boring. Charles Dance excellent. Chris Hemsworth was the star of this film,
Oh yeah.
and even then he wasn't great. It was funny in places, but he wasn't brilliant.
He was the only enjoyable character.
Yeah, it was limited by the poor writing.
Sorry, Lansing.
Other than that, terrible.
Yeah, absolutely rubbish.
Absolutely terrible. While you've got chance, you should watch that trailer. You'll love it.
Yeah, I'll watch it tomorrow, I think.
There's no actors in it or anything like that.
Oh, it's just the Ecto one, is it?
Yeah, but you get to hear the proton pack.
Oh,
You see the firing,
right.
and all this sort of stuff.
I love that
and the
sound
soundtrack, and it's put so well together that you immediately go,
oh, cool.
and straight at the screen like, yes,
Yes,
this is what I'm
definitely.
talking about.
Yeah. Oh, look, there you go. Sigourney Weaver.
I haven't seen her in anything in ages. Last thing I saw her in was The Defenders on Netflix.
She was... I think the last thing I actually saw her in would be... Oh, what was the name of that film where they go to that planet?
Avatar.
Avatar. That's the last thing I think I saw her in.
Well, she's going to be in Avatar 2 and 3.
Oh, really?
But I thought they killed a character off, so that's new.
I thought they did as well, didn't they? God knows, though. GB, Ghostbusters.
No, but your film was.
Yeah. Well, that's not terrible. Yeah, but this fucking shit was. What a load of crap.
God, if they ever did a scene like that with the original Ghostbusters, I would have fucking thrown my shoe at the screen. You know what I mean?
That's 2 hours 11.
And it's done finally.
Finally, the end credits. Answer the call.
That was it was called Ghostbusters Answer the Call then. Is that a
I'm
byline?
guessing so, but that was the first time that I saw it. Maybe it is called. Maybe it is Answer the Call. But that was really shit. Bill Murray is listed obviously as that, but he didn't really get a big part in this, did he? Wasn't massive.
Cameo.
Yeah.
Cameo. You know, and that's probably the real reason why I did it, because he's a cameo.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't have to carry the movie, like you said.
Well, they all got cameos, didn't they? They all
Yeah.
had the maximum of about a minute or 2 minutes.
I'm still
maybe.
surprised that Dan Aykroyd didn't give himself a bigger part,
No.
considering he was executive producer.
Yeah. Maybe they just did. Maybe he just didn't want to. Maybe he just thought, I'm going to stay out of this and
Let them do their thing.
Yeah, and see how it goes rather than riding on the.
And then when it was done,
Yeah.
the film was fucking shit, wasn't it?
Yeah. He rested on his laurels. Remember that from Ricky Gervais? Have you seen that on YouTube? He's resting on his laurels. Have you seen that?
What's my favourite stuff to do with Gervais is just watch his outtakes from the shows.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's
The Derek
hilarious.
ones are hilarious.
Oh yeah, they are. They are brilliant.
Because him and his mate, Kev.
Oh yeah, in the caravan. And stuff,
Well, he can't get through the scene because he's just laughing too
Yeah.
much.
Oh, I love it. I really love it. They're so funny. Just Ricky Gervais corpsing every time they try and do it.
I really wish he would do more Derek. Even if it's just a
They
special.
did 2, didn't they?
They did 2 seasons and a special.
Yeah.
I want to see another special.
Yeah. I don't think he will.
He's very much stands by his ground when he says, well, I'm done.
Yeah. He's doing his stand-up shows now. That tends to be what he does.
Yeah, he's got another show coming on Netflix as well, I think.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think he realises the longer he's in something, the quality drops.
Yes.
There's only so much comedy he can put into something.
I think he subscribes to the never do a third series.
Yeah.
I think he subscribes to the kiss of death from a third
kind
series.
of like the Faulty Towers way.
Yeah, just I think they only did 12 episodes.
Yeah, there was it 2 seasons,
and that was it.
6.
Yeah, that was it. And I think he's the same. He did it with The Office, only 2 seasons of that.
Same with Extras.
Extras.
But he did special.
Derek, and the specials are a method of doing something additional, but not making it into a
and closing
fully,
off the series.
exactly, just tying up some of the loose ends. And his Christmas special for The Office was fantastic.
Yeah, I liked it because you see another side to his character when he tells somebody to go fuck themselves or whatever it is.
He says it's Chris Finch,
which nobody expects him to do.
Yeah.
That
he just goes
good.
Chris instead of calling him Finchy or whatever. He goes Chris, and Chris goes and he goes go fuck yourself. Oh no, fuck off. He just goes fuck off, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Just goes Chris, fuck off.
But then he did the movie, Life on the Road.
Yeah.
That was a bit poor.
It's the laugh that he does, that nervous laugh. He does that every couple of minutes, and it's really fucking annoying.
The only thing I got from that movie is how much I felt sorry for him.
Yeah, me too. I hated his band.
Yeah,
they're all cunts.
He's getting fleeced by them.
Yeah.
And all because he's trying to launch something.
And at the end, it's like, you're an alright kind of guy, sort of thing. And it's like, no, you've treated him like shit for the entire thing.
Give him his fucking money back.
Yeah.
If you think that so much.
Yeah. They wouldn't have a drink with him. He'd only have a drink with him if he paid them. They were nasty to him all the way through for no reason, you know.
Yeah, he didn't do anything to them.
No, they just didn't like him, so they just thought, I'll just take his money. And then at the end of it, they felt sorry for him. But that's not how it works.
No, he's completely ostracised.
Yeah.
And I think that was...
I liked his mate in the office when he was doing the holy fuck thing, and that other guy was really getting into it with him and being his mate. You know, that's what matters.
There's always somebody out there who'll be your friend.
Yeah.
You know, it's not... That's the great thing of human beings, I guess.
It is. But yeah, that film was brilliant. Life on the Road was really, really good. But he let it down by his over-egging of David Brent's mannerisms. It could have been like every now and again he could have done a nervous laugh if it was a nervous situation that he was in, but really it was every time he delivered a funny line.
He did it as well in Derek though, didn't he? He overdid the smile and the fingers, especially by the second season. You know what I mean? He would do that, you know, that type of thing. Do you like dogs? I like dogs. You know what I mean? And brilliant, don't get me wrong, amazing character. But after a while you kind of go, yeah, okay, we get it, you do the face thing.
Yeah. Although you can sort of understand it with Derek, because Derek has got learning difficulties, so you could say, well, maybe he's becoming slightly more manic.
The line that he put in that is fantastic. He goes, "What is it if I'm autistic then?" He says, "Am I going to die?" No. He says, "What's the matter then?"
Yeah.
What a great line.
Yeah.
To the point, and it's exactly poignant.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But that I can't watch the episode when
he said something about can I still live here or something? Can I still do that? Yeah. You could, okay. So what
exactly.
then?
But I can't watch the episode with the dog dying.
Right. No, that's really sad.
Fucking kills me every time. There is not a season of Derek out I haven't cried at least one episode.
Oh no, it's brilliant. They're really poignant.
Not one
episodes. They are really poignant.
It's so good when you know, because he's so good at the emotional side of things, Ricky Gervais.
But I think he's because he's had quite a lot of pain in his life. You know, he lost his mother. He lost his father quite early, and then he lost his mother. So, and I think that he's able to draw on real emotion, so it really does.
Which is what actors do anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
They go to a dark place before they do a scene.
But he's obviously got quite a lot of them, which he can then pull in and use.
He's so natural with it.
Yeah,
he's so natural with it.
Yeah,
he deserves every bit of success he's had.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it's not just because he's a great writer. It's because he generally is an intelligent guy who says what everybody's thinking, but they're too afraid to say.
Yeah. Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
for Harold Ramis.
I mean, who goes to fucking the Golden Globes to host it and then totally rip the shit out of the people who think they're all above everybody?
So quality that.
Yeah.
So quality.
But it's obviously jokes, but he means it too. I think.
Yeah, oh yeah, he does. He's having a pop.
He means it too, but he's doing it with a wink and a glint in his eye. And so much so that we're getting...
when is this film going to fucking finish?
I didn't realise there was a scene at the end.
They call it the Nutcracker. Oh, because that's
Well, don't tell me they're doing EVP research now.
Looks like it.
Yeah, I heard something really weird. What's Zoe?
fuck off, Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
2016.
fuck off. What's Zool? You're not making a film with that. That's died a death. So that was fucking shit. I'm gonna stop
we
that film.
apologise to everybody who's come in to listen to us rip the shit out of a film, but we've lost so much interest on all of it that it couldn't hold my attention to do so. So we've given you loads of little. Actually, just me and James having a chat.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what keeps it real, isn't it? Just the fact that we are just talking, and you can listen into that conversation. We'll dip in, we've dipped in to the film and referenced other stuff, but ultimately, if a film's shit, you will know how shit a film is by just how little we talk about it.
Yeah, if we've lost interest in the movie, then that will tell you exactly what we think.
Yeah.
Me and James have said many times that there are films out there that are absolutely garbage, but that at least it keeps our attention.
Yeah.
We've mentioned, I know we keep talking about the character, but RoboCop 3, the film's awful, but there are bits in it that we can go,
still redeeming
I like that
qualities.
bit. I like this bit. I like the bit in RoboCop 3 when he goes into the church.
Yes.
And then, he can't see everyone in the dark, so he uses his thermometer and draws his gun.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great scene, and then goes outside to defend Anne Lewis, although he kind of gives a really back off, although it's really badly written, that bit. But I would have preferred him just to go out there and sort of just get in front of Anne Lewis and stand there.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not coming in, basically.
Yeah, and we've so like you say, even if a film's shit and there's still redeeming qualities in it, we'll still talk about it like we did with Highlander 2. We talked in depth about the Highlander stories.
Yes.
On that podcast, but these sorts of standalone films, when they're piss poor, then we'll slag them off and we'll tell you how it is.
I mean, to be fair to people out there are going to be people that love this movie because it may be your first version of Ghostbusters. That
it could be the introduction to the Ghostbusters universe,
and then you'll go back and watch the originals, and you'll go, actually, these are much better than that new version.
Well, it's like watching the Phantom Menace and then watching The Empire Strikes Back and thinking, what the fuck?
Yeah, completely. Actually.
Complete night and day contrast.
Although, to be fair to George and those 3 prequels, they did get better.
Marginally.
Only marginally, but they got better.
Revenge of the Sith is probably the best one out of the
Agreed,
3.
Although
but it's still poor.
He still made some really stupid choices, like getting rid of Darth Maul, who was your best.
Darth Maul was brilliant.
He was fantastic. Killing off Qui-Gon was a silly...
Yeah.
Because he held the screen.
Yeah.
I know you need to get to the point where Obi-Wan's going to train him. Yeah, I get that, but you could have done it by the second film when he was growing up a little bit.
Exactly. So let's just end this, and then you'll hear us talk about another film and again in the next episode. We're not quite sure what that will be. It might well be what we talked about before, about maybe starting off with Batman and going through the 66 version of Batman, or it might be something completely different. But whatever it will be your classic James and Adie Grumpy Guide style. So look forward to that, because we definitely are. So thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you again soon. So I have been James.
And I have been Adie, and I'm going to go and reopen the wounds of my slashed wrist.
Exactly. See you all again soon, and good night.
Goodbye.
Or good day, or whatever it is, whatever time it is. But
I will Jim Carrey it then. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Indeed. Thank you very much. Bye.
Good night.